Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox wrapped up their road trip with a win yesterday, 9-5 in Minnesota. Trevor Story homered and drove in 5 runs to lead the offense as the cleanup hitter, and Connolly early allowed 1 run and 2 hits over 6 innings for the win. The Red Sox split their 6-game road trip. They'll have tonight off and will begin a 4-game series with Detroit at Fenway tomorrow evening. Major League Baseball is now investigating an incident 2 nights ago in which the Red Sox Jaron Duran pointed an obscene gesture towards a fan he said joked about his attempted suicide. Alex Cora is happy to hear that the fan will be dealt with.
I mean, I know the Twins are all over the case and trying to find out who he was, and hopefully they find the person, and that was probably the last, if they find it, it's probably the last big league game that person is going to attend.
In other baseball news, Tigers rookie Kevin McGonigal has signed an 8-year, $150 million contract extension 2 weeks into his major league career. Celtics are going to play Philadelphia in round 1 of the playoffs. The Sixers beat Orlando in the play-in round last night, 109-97. So the Sixers will be at TD Garden for game 1 of the best of 7 on Sunday afternoon. The Magic, meanwhile, host Charlotte tomorrow night to see who's the 8th seed in the East. Hornets guard LaMelo Ball fined a total of $60,000 and assessed a flagrant foul 2. This is after his takedown of Bam Adebayo and then his language with the media after a play in game 2 nights ago. Out west, Golden State rallied for a 126-121 road win over the Clippers. The Warriors visit Phoenix tomorrow to see who the 8th seed is in the West. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Three, violent two-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah, boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube and get that going for us. If you would, please. And we're in the Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. Again, a big show on the way today. Tom, Caron, and our friend Dane Brugler. I've noticed that beast is sitting right where it has been the whole time.
Okay.
Interesting.
Message received.
But they know better. They know who to mess with, not to mess with. They know that I am not the one.
Now put your finger in the air and wag it back and forth a little bit and say, I'm not the one.
As the great Jack Hayes said on 227 many, many times.
Which is the nonverbal way of saying I'm not the one.
I ain't the one, honey. I ain't the one, honey.
I remember Venus Williams saying that to a judge on the court once because the calls weren't going her way.
I'm sure things turn right around.
Yeah, is that what you call the person who sits up in the beach chair?
Oh, that's the umpire.
Or the umpire.
Yeah.
So I'm not the one.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
right.
Okay. All right.
Have a seat.
Yeah.
I remember I told a judge one time, so what if there was a camera in there? Big deal.
What?
I just wanted to, so what if there was a camera in there?
Different type of judge. Tennis.
What is this?
All right.
What is this? France in the war?
I'm not helping.
A man can put a camera where he wants to.
You can go on your own on that. That's fine.
Put it right in the bowl.
It's all right.
It's my house, my rules. A lot of mock drafts. Dane Brugler will be on today, and we will get into the mock drafts.
Not all of these mock drafts can be correct. I mean, just as simple,
I would say none of them are absolutely right.
Simple crunching of the numbers saying someone almost certainly has to be mistaken.
Can I give you what Todd McShay's doing, who's a bit of a joke? He's now with the Ringer. He has a trade at 3, a trade at 6, a trade at 7, a trade at 8, a trade at 12, a trade at 16, a trade at 22, a trade at 25, a trade at 30. He has that many trades in the first round.
3/4 of those are not going to happen. I literally just read yesterday that there are a lot of teams in the top 15 trying to trade down and can't because teams don't want to trade up in this draft at all.
Trading for what?
Well, I'll tell you, they have the Saints trading to 3 to get Arvell Reese. They have the Jets giving up a second-round pick in 2027 to trade up to 6 to get Sonny Styles. So they'll have taken David Bailey and Sonny Styles, meaning that they will go into the season with no second wide receiver because they've done nothing in free agency. They want so badly an inside linebacker that they're going to give up draft capital, a second rounder next year in a very good draft to come up and get an inside linebacker. And I understand Sonny Styles is supposed to be pretty good, but I mean, he's supposed to be really good, but I don't know if you're the Jets, you can afford to start screwing around and taking an edge rusher that doesn't even have the highest upside, and then go get a middle linebacker, giving up draft capital. They have. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, they don't have the Jets taking Sonny Styles. I'm sorry. They have Dallas taking Sonny Styles. They traded with Cleveland. They have the Jets going up to take Carnell Tate.
Okay.
That they going up and taking Carnell Tate. They have New Orleans trading down and taking Spencer Fano. The Cleveland takes Caden Proctor with the pick that they got. The Washington takes a receiver with the Jets pick that they got in the trade for Carnell Tate.
So they traded and picked up a wide receiver anyway. Okay.
I mean, is the difference between... I mean, I know this is pretty in the weeds for people, and the Patriots don't have a pick until way later in the draft, but is the difference between Carnell Tate and Omar Cooper Jr., the kid from Indiana, like so vast that you would be willing
give
to
up
give up
anything?
Yeah, like, I mean, it seems like I think that Carnell Tate's supposed to be good, but he's not on the level of Calvin Johnson or Julio Jones, or even I don't think like
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, he didn't really pan out, but more like the kid from the Giants, Neighbors. Like, I don't think he's like on that kind of level. The kid from Ohio State that's coming out next year is.
Yes.
But Marvin Harrison Jr., going to the draft, he's not to that level.
I read a report, and I think Jason Lockenfor now does sports radio in Baltimore, and he still writes a little bit. And he was saying that according to the Baltimore Ravens, there are only 190 kids in this draft that have an actual draft grade. So if you look at how many kids are going to get drafted without compensatory selections, it's well over 230 or 240.
What's the number normally? Like,
I don't know the answer to that. My point is this year's draft is weak. No, there are only 14 or 15 guys that are going to get invited to the draft to begin with, for possible first-round picks, and one of them's Ty Simpson. I mean, less than half of the teams can draft one of these guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this draft is considered weak. Well, Dane knows all about this stuff, and he'll tell us at 9. But everything I've read in the last 2 weeks tells me this draft is not good.
And everything that I've read says, and I think it's probably the same for you, is that there's about 5 kids that are like elite talents.
Styles would go 5th according to most mocks, and he's like the last guy.
So it's Mendoza because he's a quarterback, Love, Reese, Bailey, Styles.
Yep. And that's it pretty much.
Right.
And then
so,
it's just this whole conversation of, again, all the mocks with the trades, which I don't think are going to happen.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. Maybe you take Bailey out and put the safety from Ohio State in there.
Yeah.
Switch whatever you want. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you can wrap your head around someone taking a safety that high.
Right. Caleb Downs.
Yeah. But after that, it's just this big conversation of either need or best player or these trades, which I don't see happening. I don't see anybody giving up anything in order to move up in this draft, because who's to say that person is, and I know everything changes like the day before it, and all these teams get it, a sense of who's taking what. But even if the guy you want is going to be off the board, how can you be that in love with him to the point where you give up something to move up and get him?
Can I also ask you this?
And I'm sorry, Fred, but especially if it means giving up something in next year's draft.
Right. So
That's not going to happen.
So why in this draft, if I'm Dallas and I'm trading up from 12 to 6, would I give up number 92 in this draft and a second rounder next year, which means they'll have no first and no second rounder next year, and they'll have had no second rounder this year, to move up 6 spots to take an inside linebacker?
Yeah.
Like, even if they traded up, why would it take that much draft capital to move 6 spots?
Right.
That's the kind of stuff, as you guys know, is when there's like a quarterback sitting there and a team wants to move up, 12 spots. Oh, Nick doesn't have a hat. Oh, no, he does have a hat on, but it's a bald-looking cap.
It's backwards. It fakes you a little bit.
Boy, did he get bald. Holy moly. Hachi Machi. There's not even, he had an old man hair.
He takes care of it, though. It's tight. He keeps it.
It's disgusting. He couldn't even get a hair transplant now. It's too late.
Well, didn't Sarge try one?
Yeah,
And Sarge was that
didn't pan out.
No, it didn't. By the way, I looked it up. 257 picks in this draft. Only 190 draftable players. So that's 2 full rounds of. I would say this is unusual.
Well, I mean, teams will just not show up.
I mean, Elliot Wolf even said it wasn't a good draft, and then he clarified the comments, but still said it wasn't a very good draft.
Yeah.
He said we'll get good players, but it's not a good draft. All right. When GMs are saying that publicly, that's a little strange. Zach, go ahead.
Hey, so I'm wondering. It's sort of a 2-part question. How aggressive do you think the Patriots should be? And what do you think the likelihood is that we trade up between, like 15, 17 for a guy like Kenyon Sadiq?
Let me see. Kenyon
Sadiq.
Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that's when we talked to Christopher Price, and Christopher Price said Sadiq would be the guy that they trade up for. That's the tight end out of Oregon, who's far and away supposed to be the best tight end in this draft. He's a physical freak, and he had a pretty good year last year. It's not like a huge amount of production, but I do think that there is a chance, from at least what Christopher Price said, Zach, that the Patriots would do it, and I think that that's not a bad move. I mean, if you only have to trade into 15, 16, 17 to go up and get him from 31, I have
no idea what that costs. I don't have my trade chart with me.
Well, yes. Well, in the trade chart, I don't know if it applies in this draft as much. Yeah. And by the way, teams are going to be asking for picks next year.
Oh, yeah.
That's why on this draft that McShay has, that he's got a bunch of people giving up 2027 picks, and teams are going to be very hesitant to give up 2027 draft picks. And I'd imagine the Patriots, especially because, again, I think that you would agree, Zach, the chances of the Patriots having the 31st pick in the draft next year are very slim. You would hope that they have a pick in the late 20s, but I don't know if they're going to the Super Bowl again. That's the thing. So that's the guy they have their eyes on, apparently. And McDaniels, loves tight ends. They need a tight end, desperately need a tight end. And that's pretty much the only first-round option that I've heard of. You have to understand, I haven't seen some of these kids play, and I never saw Sadiq play. I saw Oregon, but I wasn't paying attention to Sadiq.
No one was, because you didn't get the ball a ton.
Well, I've seen Bailey play. I saw Reese play a bunch of times, and Tate, and I've seen some of these styles. I've seen Ohio State, and they showcased those kids. I mean, they were talking about them every time you watch the game.
But I mean, there are tons of everything you see. It's a lot of offensive linemen, a lot of interior defensive linemen, players that nobody looks at, no one pays attention to.
Well, it's funny when I would go to those BC games and see like Clemson, they would be like, the Clemson has these 2 defensive linemen that are supposed to be fantastic. And so I did pay attention to them, and they literally did nothing in the game. And then it turns out they did nothing all year.
Yeah. Well, Boston College won 2 games all season, and they didn't do anything against BC.
Well, Jeremiah Love, he did a lot.
Yeah, he had that, 85-yard run?
Yeah, but I mean, Jeremiah Love was by far the best player on the field. There was no doubt that he was the best player on the field.
Yep.
You could tell that being a schmuck like me in the stands with no rooting interest in the game. I mean, I suppose I would have liked BC to win, since I'm now a 2-year season ticket holder going into year 3.
Oh, so you're back? You're back for another season?
Yeah, I mean, it's $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I can walk to the games if I want to, and it's $1,000 for 2 tickets. Yeah, I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I can't believe I went so long living in the neighborhood with D1 power conference football in my backyard and didn't go to more games.
Let's see who you got on the home schedule.
It's not great. I think Florida State is the big one.
You got Rutgers, Maine, Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh. Everything sounds good so far. Florida State, they're at Notre Dame.
No, they're not.
Syracuse. Ooh. So that's what you have.
You have Florida State, basically.
Yeah, they're at Notre Dame.
That press box is going to be packed for the Syracuse game. All the students up there doing all their different broadcasts, alternative broadcasts, podcasts.
Seriously.
Syracuse can't get anyone to play sports there anymore. They can't get anyone to play football.
Which is ironic because they've got all the sports broadcasters.
I know.
Yeah, they got everyone.
Nothing to talk about.
If you can't do teaching, go to Syracuse. They don't have a baseball team at Syracuse. Did you know that?
I think I did know that. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I knew that.
I'm almost 1,000 times positive. And if you look it up and it says they do, there's a good chance that's a club team. So I'm almost 100% positive Syracuse doesn't have a baseball program. But they do, and they can't get anyone there anymore because they got no money. They can't get anyone to play basketball there. I heard Boeheim bemoaning the fact that they can't get anyone. They might never be good again.
I think that changed. Part of the hiring process now is, and I know this is the case at BC, Luke Murray wouldn't come here until they promised him X amount of dollars to work with. I think Jerry McNamara going back to Syracuse, in order to jumpstart the program, I think part of the negotiation was, okay, I'll come here, but I need this amount of money for NIL stuff.
Oh, okay, because I heard Boeheim around the time of the tournament talking about how Syracuse is never going to be good again. And maybe he was just putting pressure on the administration, but that's what he was saying at the time.
I mean, part of the problem in the Big East anyway is that some schools are operating at a disadvantage because they have to share their NIL money with football. Providence has a lot of money because they don't have football at all. And they have a rabid fan base, a lot of boosters, and they have tens of millions of dollars to spend on kids.
Well, isn't it, John, that like Providence has like one of the top 7 NIL budgets in?
Yes, I sent you that list a couple weeks ago. Yeah, they're in there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it, like literally top 7, and you know who wasn't on that list because I was just paying attention? Michigan and Michigan State. Like they have, according to this list, Providence has more NIL basketball money, I think, than any Big Ten team. I didn't see any. I don't recall seeing a Big Ten. Certainly Michigan and Michigan State.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
And Michigan just won the national championship, and Michigan State's in the Elite Eight every year. So, or the Sweet 16 every year. So that was odd to me. In our far bigger schools, I mean, Michigan State is, as Hardy can tell you, 75 million kids.
Seriously, how much is it? 30 grand? How many? I have no idea.
With graduates, it's probably 45,000.
Yeah,
okay, that's big.
It's real big.
Yeah,
real big. It's great. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so fun. You could go there for 6 years and have anonymous sex and never see the person again.
Michigan State reported its second largest enrollment fall of 2025 with 51,838 students. And that includes 41,000 undergrads.
Okay, how many kids went to your school? Because you and I had the same experience. So how many kids went to your school?
Like the over-under would be $3,000.
Okay, I can beat that. It was 1825 when I was there.
Yeah, it might
1,825 kids.
Yeah, it's probably under $3,000. That includes the business school too.
Wow.
So maybe, maybe 2,500 kids, if that.
I remember my buddy and I took a road trip to Ohio State, and we happened to be there during Greek week, and it was like being on a different planet from the school I went to. It was really something.
There's something to be said for both. I'm glad I went to a small school. I think it's very easy to get lost at a big school. Like, I really want my daughter to go to a small school. My son, it doesn't matter. He's going to be in his own thing, so I don't care about that. But the size of it. But I think my daughter, small school, you don't get lost.
Somebody told Katie when she was looking at different schools and the size, and even UMass, this size of it, I think, kind of put her off at first. And we visited Michigan State too, and she just wasn't into it. Plus, it didn't have what she wanted to study, with books and stuff. But someone told her you can always make a large school feel smaller, but you can't make a small school feel bigger. Now, that doesn't mean you won't get lost or anything else, but once you kind of get your group of people and your friends, and whether it's within your major or just your circle or in a sorority or fraternity, whatever it is, there is a way of kind of like creating a place within a larger place.
Well, that's why I said I don't care what size school Milo goes to. I do care what size Zoe goes to, because I feel Zoe could get lost at a big school. Like, if you don't go, well, I know it. You have to know a million kids. I know a guy that roomed with was high school friends with us, roomed with the kid that was the best man in my wedding, and just didn't leave the dorm room essentially for, 6 months, and ended up never graduating from college. That's not uncommon, and that's not possible at a small school.
Right.
Like, at a small school, they're going to come get you.
You're going to be involved.
Yeah, like, it's small, and a small school also forces you, John doesn't know this because he didn't do it, but a small school generally forces you to join something. Like, you have to join a fraternity or a sorority. You have to join, or there was like a hippie outdoor club like that you could live at. Like, you have to join something, or you're going to have like nothing to do. And I think that was valuable. Yeah, if you go into like Michigan State and you go join a fraternity, or you play Ultimate, whatever. If you go and make yourself available and start doing stuff, but it's very easy not to do that. And so that's the point. No, I mean, you go to you go to NYU, you're in New York City. You'd be the most cultured human being in the world when you get out of there.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to do it. A small school forces you to do it.
Sadly, I just double-checked when we were talking about Syracuse and, losing sports. Even the link to their Ultimate team is a dead link. There's like nothing there.
Well, maybe that's because it's so exclusive.
Oh, I didn't have the password.
The password is intramural. The password's co-ed. That's the password. All right, we'll be back. Your local 9 played yesterday. Plus
walk-ons welcome, capital W.
Plus, we know who the Celtics will be playing now in the first round of the playoffs. We will have that for you in just a moment.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, what up, gang? We call it the Toucher and Hardy Morning Crew.
Yeah.
Ripping it up. What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened, so change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, what do you want to start with? You tell me, Jack.
Let's start with the Red Sox. They're wrapping up their set in Minnesota. They're trying to avoid a sweep there in Minnesota, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, they lost the first two. So how do you do that? Well, instead of making errors, maybe you start taking advantage of the other team's errors.
And a ground ball to the right side. Keyshaw will drop the ball. He'll throw late and wild. One run is in. Here comes Anthony in to score on the throw home. And the runners move up to second and third. So the Twins doing something they have not done in this series and indeed all season long to this point. They get sloppy.
Keyshaw may get 2 errors on that one.
Yes, he did. A double error on that. Poppy a little sloppy on that play, and the Red Sox go up 2-1.
That was the name of the second pornography I ever saw about older men.
No, it wasn't.
Poppy getting sloppy.
It was not.
It was about a Jewish grandfather. Poppy getting sloppy. I'll tell you this. As you watch baseball, never underestimate the power of an error to set everything you don't really think about it because it's usually not that big a deal just in the real time, right? Like someone boots a ball and then it's just like whatever. I know this is obvious and it's baseball 101, but we're going to do this a lot. If we do what happened last night about every game the night before or the day before that we go on the air, these errors, very difficult to come back from. Your major league pitcher, you're facing the best in the world. You cannot give up outs. You cannot give up bases, even if it's just an error that costs you a base. These are things you can't do, and putting too much pressure on the pitcher. Definitive statement made.
I like to handle it.
No, but it's just every year that I'm around baseball, like every year that I watch Major League Baseball, it just frustrates me more and more. It's the giving up of
bases, and yes, I mean the walks obviously, but sometimes there's a time and a place for that, and you understand it. But the errors, I get it. Now you're just giving them away. Now you're just giving away bases.
And think of what you're doing to the pitcher.
Yes,
like even if you boot something in the outfield that was going to be a base hit anyway, and you give him second base, well, now a base hit scores.
I'm with you.
So now I got a barrel. Now I got to say there's no outs, and now I got to. The guy can't. They can't move the runner to third because if they move the runner to third, now they just have to hit the ball to the right side or you put the ball in the air. And I don't know, Now I'm pressing. I'm pitching under pressure when I shouldn't be. I should be able to allow a base hit. I should be able to allow someone to put the ball on the ground. I've won if I've done that. Base hit, fine. But when they're picking up extra bases and you're booting ground balls, it's too much.
If you think about the Red Sox, it is truly remarkable how poor they are defensively, considering that they have the American League Gold Glove winners in center field and in right field. And they're still terrible. Then the guy in left is terrible. The guy in shortstop is terrible. I mean, it is. I don't know how you can land with such a dichotomy like this.
But these aren't important defensive positions, shortstop especially. You don't need to have a Gold Glove there, John.
Well, the good news is he didn't kick a ball away yesterday.
Hey, listen, the good news is they actually got some offense yesterday, too.
Swinging a high fly ball left field deep. Martin's backing up all the way to the wall. It's gone. Trevor Story, a 3-run shot.
Boy, did they need that, OB. Goodness, this was the lead they needed.
Yep. 5-1 that lead. And it wasn't just, getting it done with the slam-a-wham ding-dongs. They're playing some small ball, too.
Showing a bunt, drops it down. Here comes the run trying to score, play at first. And that'll be in time as the run scores. Red Sox with a squeeze to bring in Monasterio.
7-1. Now, Trevor Story would add a 2-run RBI double later on, make it 9-1. It wasn't until a little bit later. Who gave up the home run there at the end?
Ryan Watson, I want to say.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Watson, not so great. They can't be happy with that performance. no pressure.
Slight blemish on an otherwise good afternoon.
Well, no, it just sucks that they put you in. You're obviously not like a big part of the staff.
You're scrambling to keep a roster spot. They send you in there, and
it's 9-1, and you go in there.
You go in there for an inning, give up 3 hits, 4 earned runs.
Yeah, like that's not ideal. You're going in with no pressure, and you just gotta. Pretty much let's
just end this.
Let's go home.
Yeah, everybody is kind of figured out how this game is going to go today. Even the Twins are happy. They won the series. Let's just go.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just go.
Pretty much, and you're like, at least they didn't have to take them out because that's the worst. Like if you're up 8 runs in the bottom of the 9th, and they got to take you out.
It's even worse. Even if there's anyone warming, it's still a punch in the face.
Well, because now they got a guy. They don't want to warm these guys. They don't want these guys throwing.
We thought we were done with this. Now we have to get this guy up, because you suck. Yeah,
but
not good.
Alex Cora shuffling the lineup yesterday. Here he is talking about the number 2 batter.
I mean, today the lineup was based on no Willie, so to jump into conclusions, that he's going to hit second. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where we are Friday.
All right.
Yeah, Caleb Durbin, who's hitting under 150. They benched him. You didn't have Wilson Contreras. He's got a low back. You didn't have Willie Abreu. So your 2, 4, and 5 hitters did not play yesterday, and you still scored 9 runs.
Well, Yoshida's not a bad hitter, and he just doesn't get to play a lot.
Yeah.
So
there are only so many roster spots to be a DH, and you can't put Yoshida in the field.
No, I know. What I'm saying though is that like if you maneuver things around and Yoshida can hit, it's not like that's a huge let down in the order comparatively to who else is in that order.
Okay, fair enough. But sitting Contreras and Abreu on the same day,
no. Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that it's a nice thing to have Yoshida. Look, they don't need him. They gave him too much money.
Yeah,
but it's nice to have Yoshida there because he's a major league caliber hitter that you can put in the middle of your lineup and he'll most likely perform, because it is, you have to find it odd that they're not playing him. I mean, it's not odd that I know why they're not doing it is because they don't have room, like you said. They're DHing Anthony because he seems unable to play the outfield.
You have 5 outfielders for 4 spots, including the DH,
and one of them might have the yips, and so you're DHing them, and so. It's I don't know if it's great. You got to move someone. I mean, they're going to have to move someone.
Well, you would think they would have done it at the deadline last year, and they didn't.
We talked about it. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know why they held firm on like a price for whoever. You got to move somebody. That's what I would do.
Also, the Major League Baseball and the Twins are investigating the fan that allegedly heckled Duran. Duran said, I'm kind of used to it at this point, even something as ugly as a fan telling him to go kill himself.
Okay. I tell Adam to go kill himself every day. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And so,
but for a guy who came out last year and said that he was suicidal.
It's bad. It's not nice. But I thought about this. So, like, if you say the N-word to a guy, we can pretend anything, but that's almost an act of violence.
And I think we can do that now. I think that's back on the table.
Yeah.
What?
N-word. I think you can just say it now.
Oh, I hope they bring it back. When these woke people,
about time.
When these woke people finally and let comedy come back, which has been suffering greatly without the use of the N-word. But when you're in this, when you say the N-word to someone, to a black person, that's an act of extraordinary aggression. That's the way that linguistics are now. That's the way that the world is. You are telling them, like, basically, it's like the word you can't say, right? Like, that's just the word you can't say. There's a bunch of words you're not supposed to say. And Duran said some of them. but those aren't the third rail. The N-word is the third rail. And that's the one where you're really asking the guy to come after you. And Cedric Maxwell had that happen to him, and he beat the hell out of the guy. And no one argues. But again, look, man, I'm not yelling at the players in the stands. I never have. Like, I don't think it's cool, or like I don't sit there chuckling. And I guess if someone was really funny, I would do that. And saying to a guy that came out that he wanted to kill himself, go kill yourself, like whatever. That's horrible. Like, I mean, not. It's just you're a dick, and it's not funny, and like you're kind of a weirdo. You're a weirdo. But he came. This happens to me all the time. Like, I've had things in my life that I'm not necessarily proud of, but I've told the story, and when people on social media or people, no one in my face, but people like on social media or something. Or like in a song that we encouraged, say something like, I told you that. Again, he said it. They're just saying it. Go kill yourself. Well, no, I'm not going to. There you go. I mean, that's it. I don't think that's like this crazy thing that like in the sea of things fans are saying to you is like the worst thing you could possibly say to someone.
But that's easy for you to say, Fred. You haven't had to be 5 feet away from somebody who is making fun of you for going to the loony. But okay, all right, maybe.
I think
that's actually a good point.
Yeah, I know.
You
called it the booby hatch.
One of the great things about Hardy, one of the great things about Hardy being on the show is that he'll make fun of me, which I enjoy because it's a lot more fun when I'm not the only one doing it. So, but I've never, ever, ever, have I ever, and I've certainly never said anything to you, have I ever reacted in a way where you thought I was in any way, shape, or form offended by what you said?
No, but you're also cuckoo, so who knows?
See, you're not offended.
You don't process things like a normal person does.
It might happen in the car on the way home. You don't know.
I think Hardy just has illustrated my point perfectly.
Even though I didn't want to, because I look, what are they going to do? They're going to find the guy? Are they going to ban him from the park? Maybe. It's pretty reprehensible. But I did, in fact, make your point for you, so there you go.
I think it's the guy's a really weird guy. I don't know why. Not Duran. This is the guy in the stands. I think the guy in the stands is like not a happy person that's like living a wonderful life.
The one thing that does kind of suck about it, and I don't mean this, for society, is that Duran, he said afterward, he goes, I guess it's my fault for talking about it. Now, I don't mean it's like, see what you did now, the conversation isn't out in the open and we can't have this discussion as a people. No, I just mean for him personally. If he really feels that way, it's like, well, this is what I get for, talking about how I've felt at any point. And that's not good.
Okay, but you have to be compartmentalize what's going on and go, like, 99.9999999% of the population is thinking that's great. Like, congratulations on, you've been very honest about it. Congratulations on working on yourself and getting past this instead of just giving in to the depression. You have to, the amount of support the guy's gotten has been tremendous. One guy in the stands goes, go kill yourself. And that's like sets you off. What it is, Hardy, is if he had just hit a grand slam and he's rounding the bases and someone says, go kill yourself, I don't think he's flipping the guy off. I mean, we can agree that it's a terrible thing to say. I don't even know. It's not a debate. It's a terrible thing to say to someone. I just don't think in a sea of being heckled, that's like the craziest heckle in the world to hear. That's all. That's all. I understand if you hear the N-word and you're a black guy, because that's almost like an act of violence. This is, I don't look at it this way. And I think I'm in a position where I can kind of speak about it because I got my own stuff that people have come after me about. So there you go. Like Hardy, who's constantly ridiculing me.
Well, it's such good material.
It really is. That's why I've done it.
You with your grippy socks.
Oh, those grippy socks. You take those home. You give them to the kids. Here's some socks for the jump park. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox beat the Twins in Minnesota yesterday 9-5. Trevor Story, a 3-run homer, 5 RBIs. Sox are now 7-11. They have tonight off. They're back home to play Detroit tomorrow night. Major League Baseball was investigating an incident 2 nights ago in which the Red Sox, Jaron Duran, pointed an obscene gesture at a fan. Also, Philadelphia beat Orlando last night 109-97 in the play-in game. That means the 76ers come to Boston to play the Celtics in round 1 of the postseason starting on Sunday. And amid reports that the Saudi-based Public Investment Fund is pulling all of its investments in the tour, Live Golf apparently intends to finish out the year despite rumors that it is going to shut its doors soon. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
I don't know.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, we now know who our local team, the Boston Celtics, will be playing in the NBA playoffs.
That's right. Last night, the Philadelphia 76ers were hosting the Orlando Magic. And if you wanted the Sixers, I've been saying this, careful what you wish for.
Nice screen by Drummond for Maxey. Maxey splits two in the lane. Another runner up and good. Right down Broad Street. Tyrese Maxey. Sixers by 3. Maxey with 24.
I don't like him. I don't like playing him.
I don't like referencing the local roads. Now, I will tell you this. Skip Bayless has come out, and this, thank you to whoever put this in Slack, maybe John. Skip Bayless came out and said he has heard that, Embiid had an appendectomy, and he's heard that Embiid could be playing, but he's choosing not to. Am I the only one who doesn't trust Skip Bayless on this?
No. That's part of the reason I put it in there is that he's a raving lunatic and has no idea what he's talking about.
Like I don't know if Joel Embiid's not playing because he had a surgery that wasn't to something required to play basketball, and he could be back.
Everyone is up and around a week after an appendectomy. I think that's well known. Everybody who has an appendectomy is just fine.
Don't you have like an unhealed wound and like all this stuff?
Yes, it's a massive surgical thing. Yes. Most people, my point is most people take at least 3 or 4 weeks to come back from something like this.
And also, like, you are 7 feet tall and broken, and so I don't think you can just come off the operating table and just start playing NBA basketball in playoff basketball. I mean, that's so dumb. Like, I've been told by the 76ers that he had an appendectomy. Like, good, you get it. You can be bad if you don't get it, but it's not like a huge deal, but it's an operation where they're taking something out of you, and it just happened. And this notion that Embiid's like, they're like, come back. And he's like, nah. Like, this isn't a knee where you're like, where you might go, no, I don't want to come back. I don't want to risk it. And the team and you get into like kind of a tug of war about it.
Don't do this.
Like the team, like Embiid's not afraid that playing on this taken out appendectomy is going to ruin his career.
Right.
That's when you have the issue with the player. But he's so lazy. He doesn't want to play in the playoffs. That's nonsense.
Of course it is.
Maybe he's got stuff to do at home.
She's okay, Caron.
May have to go out.
She's okay.
Yes. Yeah, I heard.
That. Okay, good.
I heard it. Okay, sorry.
All right. So it wasn't just Tyrese Maxey last night. Wallach and I were talking about this earlier. The dagger in this game as the Sixers were trying to earn their way into a series against the Celtics came from, I thought, a very unlikely fellow.
Oubre with it to Drummond. Drummond shoots a 3 from the corner, and it's good. He's going to send the Sixers to
Big
Boston.
deal. He owns all that property in Manhattan.
No, different Drummond. No, I don't even think he's related.
He adopted 2
Drummond.
kids. They had nothing
Different
but the
guy.
genes.
Yeah.
Different guy.
He's got a housekeeper. She went on to Poughkeepsie to run a girls' school.
So the Sixers get the win, 109-97. And that means it'll be the Celtics and 76ers.
They split 4 meetings this season, but Tatum didn't play in any of them. I think Embiid played a couple of them for the Sixers. First 3 meetings were a point or 2 either way, and then the Celtics blew them out the last time they played them at the beginning of March. Celtics should win this thing relatively easy, but, Chris Forsberg has sat here, and you just brought him up. Tyrese Maxey's going to score a lot of points in this series. He's going to go crazy. You saw it last night.
Yeah,
there's going to be a 4 or 5 minute span where he makes like 8 shots in a row, and you're like, oh my God, ultimately the Celtics are far better. And Paul George, by the way, is playing now for the Sixers.
Yeah,
he is playing well for them too.
He did well last night.
And so they have 3 guys. They have Maxey, they have George, and they have this kid VJ Edgecombe, who's a very good rookie and will probably be in the top 3 in Rookie of the Year balloting this year. But they're not nearly good enough. The Celtics should win this relatively easily.
Yeah, well, if you just went player by player, the 76ers have one of the 5 best players on the floor, and that's Maxey.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Who's probably the 3rd best player on the floor.
He's probably the best pure scorer of the two teams.
Right.
But when you have Tatum, who is fully healthy, and Jaylen Brown, you should win this series in 5.
Right, and then certainly White's better than anyone else that the 76ers have, and then you can have a conversation, but whatever. And because Peyton Pritchard is good, but
yeah,
Oh, that hurts to say, doesn't it? Say it again.
No, not until he gives me something.
And a 7.5 handicap.
That's annoying. I remember we sat down with him on media day. That's really annoying.
Well, you know why? It's because he's probably handling it the way his father made him play basketball.
Oh, it's true. Playing nonstop for about 5 weeks.
Yeah, pulling him out of school when he was like 9.
You will play golf.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Ends justify the means.
Just like it worked for Tiger. I mean, what a life he's living.
Yeah.
He's got all this money and he's so happy.
Well, he's had car trouble. You can't blame that on his upbringing.
It's funny, like, wow, look at Tiger Woods' dad succeeded. Like he made him this championship golfer. He's so rich. He's got this legacy. Oh yeah, but he's 50 and completely miserable.
Yeah, he's a mess.
And it's never gonna get better. Apparently he is in Europe getting this crazy ass like hallucinogen treatment. That's why he went to Europe. I've heard that now from a few sources.
Oh, okay.
Illegal in the States.
I didn't know what he was doing. I thought maybe he was doing like the old school Keith Richards thing. It's like, I'm addicted to heroin. Well, just give me all new blood. And that way, we'll get this blood that wants heroin. We'll get that out of my body, and we'll just get some new blood in there that doesn't crave the H. No, that doesn't work.
Sounds like someone who doesn't want to quit heroin is what it sounds like. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Mazzulla was on with his Pardon My Take.
Yep.
Mazzulla was on Pardon My Take. We got some stuff from that coming up in just a moment.
More.
and earned a split of their 6-game road trip. Connolly early allowed 1 run and 2 hits in 6 innings. And Alex Cora also got a 3-run homer and 5 RBIs from Trevor Story.
He got a breaking ball up and hit it hard, and then he did a good job against the lefty going the other way. So that's a good step. Situational hitting came into play today, and as a group, we did a good job.
Sox are now 7-11. They're back home to play Detroit tomorrow night in the opener of a 4-game Patriots Day weekend series. Speaking of the Tigers, rookie Kevin McGonigal has signed an 8-year, $150 million contract extension 2 weeks into his major league career. The Philadelphia 76ers beat Orlando last night 109-97 in the 7-8 play-in game at the NBA playoffs. That means the 76ers play the Celtics in round 1 of the postseason starting on Sunday. The Green split 4 meetings with that team during the regular season. The Magic, by the way, will host Charlotte tomorrow night to see who's the 8th seed in the East. Hornets guard LaMelo Ball fined a total of $60,000 and assessed a flagrant foul 2. This after his takedown of Bam Adebayo and then his language after with the media after another playing game 2 nights ago. Out west, Golden State rallied for a 126-121 road win over the Clippers. The Warriors visit Phoenix tomorrow night to see who the 8th seed is in the West. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Done Right Services. Is your stone foundation in need of waterproofing? Call Done Right Services. Visit stonefoundationrepair.com and schedule today. I'm John Wallach on Boston Tone for Sports 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
It's never changed. It's never changed. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the
Sports Hub on YouTube.
I smack it, flip it, like Mike Bivens, but to me, your
Flows like Ronnie DeVos.
There you go.
Do you know who Ronnie DeVoe is and Mike Bivens?
You talking to me? Yes.
Okay, so you understand the line?
Yes. I know who Ronnie DeVoe and Mike
flip
Bivens
it,
is.
like
Rub it down. Yeah.
Mike Bibbins, but to me, your flow's like Ronnie DeVoe's.
Yes.
He's saying Ronnie DeVoe's is not as good as Mike Bivens.
Oh, okay. Was he considered the lesser of the Bell Biv DeVoe trio?
Well, Bivens did most of the rapping. DeVoe is more of a musical voice.
Now you know. Yo Slick, blow.
Yes, exactly.
Well, the best thing about the song Monopoly by Danny Brown is play that one clip one more time. He's just insulting whoever, and he just...
I smack it, flip it, like Mike Bivens, but to me, your flow's like Ronnie DeVos.
So everything is like Ronnie DeVos. Like he's just like it's snickering at the person.
It's just odd that you would pick him out.
Well, that's a great line.
It is. But
I smack it, flip it like Mike Bivens, but to me, your flow's like Ronnie DeVos.
Pretty good.
My hose got toes and expansion high heels. Your hose feet is wax. Beauty supply sandals. That's the next line.
Oh.
All right. Very good. Joe Mazzulla can smack it and flip it like Mike Bivens. But here we are.
But he's doing it in the dojo. He's
again,
he's smacking people around and flipping people and hiya!
So what's Hardy talking about? Well, again, the best story very quickly. Blake Griffin, is going to be on the Celtics. He shows up to the facility, and they're like, "Do you want to meet Joe?" And he's like, "Okay." And they're like, "Well, he's in the other room with his sensei doing karate." And Griffin is like, "Huh?
No way."
He's like, "What? Is he 3?
Which one is Mazzulla? The one in the gi?
Because Blake Griffin's really funny. Like, Blake Griffin's legitimately funny. And, like, just the story is just great. Like, and I'm like, what is he, 8 years old? He's doing karate. He's like, who's this hard on doing karate? It's definitely a type. Adult karate guys. And if you want to play Nas Ether, he makes fun of Jay-Z for being adult taking karate. If you want to find that, Adam, you could do that as well. You'll have to censor that a lot, too. But Mazzulla was on Pardon My Take, the famous podcast, and he had some things to say. Now, he has a fan. Now, Hardy has dined with him. Mazzulla does the midday show every week.
Mm-hmm.
He gets loose with him, which I like. He talks about things other than basketball. And you've dined with him. He has kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we know their ages and genders? Not that it matters.
No, well, yes. I know that he has sons.
Okay.
Plural. I'm pretty sure, but one of them is referenced specifically.
I like my chances with him with a daughter more than I do a son. Daughter, I think, lighter touch.
I don't know. This kid seems to have it going on.
I don't doubt he's got it going on, but I'm saying in terms of, like, if he was my dad, I think I might rather be the girl than the boy. I think there might be a little bit of a lighter touch with the girl.
A lot of pressure on the boy.
I don't know if I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, he's kind of a hard on, and I just think that maybe daughters don't get it as much.
If you don't mind hardo, that's a little easier on the ears than calling someone an actual hard on.
Why don't you be like Maz and just make up words, like porked instead of saying effed? Which I've had many conversations off the air with people about.
This whole fakakta conversation.
Yeah. Say S or F. That's what you say. All right, here we go. This is Mazzulla talking about one of his sons.
My youngest, so we have a rule in the house that, like, you can put anybody in a guillotine at any time. Like, you always have to so we had to hold him back because, like, some people were coming over and he was, like, jumping behind the couch, like, just putting people in, like, chokehold.
What a fun, what a wild house. Tell me when you tap out on all this, Hardy, with the push hands and the walking in the woods for 2 seconds with no shoes on. Tell me when, after they lost in the finals, he learned to surf. Ooh.
Number one, this isn't you walking the dog through the woods of Newton. This was him hiking the jungle barefoot.
Costa Rica, baby.
Yeah, in a billionaire's house in Costa Rica. Yeah, I'm sure it was a real dangerous situation.
No shoes in the jungle, but shoes in the house, remember, from Mazzulla. Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
Excellent point.
Adam finally contributing. All right. So this is Mazzulla. He's so interesting. No, I actually like Joe Mazzulla in interviews. It is a bit much. We have this rule in our house that you can give guillotine. First of all, he says guillotines, which is, I assume, a chokehold.
It is. I just pulled it up because, much to my embarrassment, I didn't know what a guillotine was. That's the guillotine choke.
Yeah, I want to be a bigger douchebag, so I think I'll start taking jiu-jitsu like every dork that couldn't play team sports. But I will further explore the guillotine. Here we go.
So he'll always be like, don't let your guard down.
Yeah.
Like, we have a thing where, like, if you cannot get guillotined in the house. But he's taken it to another level, so.
Does everyone respect the tap in your house? I would assume they have to, right?
So there was a point in time where he didn't.
Oh, no.
Really?
That's actually a good question. Does everyone respect the tap?
It's a good question, and the answer is funny. I mean, when he says, well, there was a time when he didn't.
Yeah.
So you got this 7-year-old going on putting these people in borderline dangerous chokeholds and didn't respect the tap.
What's school like for him? I'm just wondering what the teachers are up against when that kid goes to school.
Small classrooms, a lot of space in between desks.
Man.
Somehow I think he's just fine in school.
Okay.
Me thinks Mazzulla is putting on a little bit of an act. This is a lot of compensation going on.
You're saying he doesn't want a wolf roaming the property?
John, I just think he is looking for a way to sound interesting. And when you're devoid of humor, that
and again,
can be very difficult.
this is your jealousy and envy seeping through, because here's a person you've encountered that is actually interesting, as opposed to this faux interesting personality that you put out there every day.
Could he name the sitcom songs based on a tenth of a second?
No, I would guess not. No.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty interesting. I watched a lot of TV in the 80s.
I loved that bit.
It was a great bit.
That was fun.
I was psyched I got 4.
Well, I mean, your
happy.
instincts to only give us the tenth of a second was dead on. I mean, that's not interesting if everyone, no one in the audience knew those answers. That's the problem, is that I knew them. No, I think Joe Mazzulla is a smart, probably a decent guy to hang out with too. It's just sometimes he seems to be trying. Really
Man knows
hard.
his way around a menu. I'll tell you that.
And he ordered for the table.
He did.
Really put you in your place. He's like, you beta cucks, sit
right.
here and watch me order. I'm alpha, you're beta.
It was fun seeing Zoe just immediately baited. by somebody.
Yeah.
You don't see that too often.
Well, Zoe can't read the menu.
Well, that's the thing. He's got the sunglasses on. Makes it a little more difficult.
That's not just the sunglasses.
It's also the squinting.
It's also the literacy.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Well, that and he refuses to wear something that allows him to see something in front of him without doing a Costanza squint. I was squinting, Jerry. I can see from 40 miles away when I'm squinting. Can Mazzulla reference Seinfeld like that? I don't think so.
Right? So there was a point in time where he didn't.
Oh no!
We get really pissed at him. It's like, kid, listen, like you have no respect for the art.
How old was he?
7.
A 7-year-old who's addicted to guillotining but doesn't respect the tap. That is I would move out. That's a house I'd move out from.
Yeah, it doesn't sound pleasant, but and he goes talking about when he's in the playoffs, right?
Yes. Now this is the mindset that not only he adopts, but it's pretty much a rule for the house when you get to the postseason.
Because after all, he's coaching basketball, which is it's like sending an army to war. It's you're sacrificing lives. There's this moral quandary. I mean, you have to get 5 guys putting a ball in a hoop.
Look, as a veteran yourself, Fred, I understand why you find the war metaphors distasteful and sometimes not only not applicable but offensive. But for the rest of us, you have to give us some grace. And you have to allow us to say things like, the more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in war.
Oh, yeah.
When someone needed enforcement at 12 Oaks Mall, I was there. All right, here we go.
What's the status of your house right now? You were telling us about how when your house gets too nice, you have to, like, junk it up a little bit, break something. I have to punch a wall. Yeah, you've had a lot of success recently. The house might be looking a little too fancy.
So again, getting ready for the playoffs is very similar. Like, you're almost trying to, you got to enter a dark space. So today's like a graceful day, spending the day with my wife, have some meetings at the downtown office to spend time with the organization. Tomorrow we start transitioning into the darkness. And like by Wednesday, you shouldn't even know what world you're in. Like, you should just be so locked in. And my wife is great because, like, what JB does to people, I do to her. So, like, if I need to...
Well, who's JB? James Brown?
Yeah. Jack Black.
He does a ton of coke and drives around. Who's JB? Jaylen Brown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Call him Jaylen Brown. Put some respect on that name.
He's showing a familiarity.
I was just going to say, he knows his players.
Yes.
He knows like them so well.
He's like that with his players.
Oh, he knows them. Really? I do like this, though. Like, I got to get these guys to put the ball in the basket. Silence.
Yeah.
It's like, did you ever read The Art of War? This all applies to putting the ball in the basket.
Right. And you have to put yourself, it's almost like Apocalypse Now.
Got to get your mind right. You got to get locked in.
The infinite amount of ways I can make these athletes, these 5 athletes, run around in this area.
I do like the image of Mazzulla kind of sitting in a cave, sweaty. There's an ant crawling along the edge of a razor blade.
I hurt myself today.
Yeah, he gets in like such a headspace. He's got to just feel the pain of the skin.
That's right.
Let's call him Eddie and the Mazzullas. What if he was like, I put John McCaffrey and the Beaver Brown bat on repeat and just lock in. I wonder.
I'm ready.
I wonder with like when he's on his deathbed, hopefully, like like at 105, he goes, "What a waste of time." I spent so much time thinking that I needed to lock in on getting these guys to put the ball in the basket. I do argue about how much work is actually necessary. I think that's overblown. I do. I don't know if 20-hour days are necessary to game plan.
I think that's more football than I don't know that the basket.
this is what it just sounds like that to me. He's in a dark place.
But he's not in the facility all day long on the whiteboard and all that stuff. This is more about, getting yourself ready mentally.
What have I become? What does that go after that?
My sweetest friend.
My sweetest friend. Everything I love goes away in the end.
The old familiar sting.
Until he sang that, I had no idea how sad that was. Until Johnny Cash, it shows you the value of a singer. Until Johnny Cash sang that, I did not realize how sad that song was.
You thought it was
No, I didn't think
upbeat dance number?
No, but like with all the electronics and stuff, and without the gravitas of like an old, like weathered voice, it doesn't hold the same. I'm complimenting the songwriting and the. I don't know where you're getting a negative out of any of this. I'm complimenting the songwriting and the power of Johnny Cash.
It's
as a
not
vocalist.
negative. I'm just disappointed in your lack of comprehension that the Trent Reznor version, you weren't able to unriddle the puzzle that was this song about heroin addiction.
I can tell you. Well, I think he's cutting himself. When he feels the sting, it's the only thing that's really.
No, he's shooting heroin.
No, I know it's about heroin, but I think he's also cutting himself.
I think you're taking the hurt myself too literally, and he's hurting himself by injecting himself with
I
heroin.
think he's cutting himself. Ooh,
There's a lot of deduction going on here. I like this.
It's well done.
We should have a salon.
That's the summer. We'll do that this summer.
And figure it out.
This darkness is too dark. We need more upbeat darkness. Hell yeah!
That's right.
Okay, do you want to hear what the analysis is? Because both of us are right. This song, originally written and performed by 9 Inch Nails, is of disputed meaning. Is it about self-harm, doing heroin, or both?
Well, what's the answer? You just asked another question.
The beauty of it is there is no answer.
Oh.
Can I tell you why I didn't get the 9 Inch Nails version, and it's my own fault, is I was a little turned off by the presentation. Like, I found it to be a lot. I liked my bands a little bit more down to earth. I respect them way more now. I had kind of dismissed them as like a jazzy electronic situation, which I didn't care for. But
Well, the only thing you really had to judge him on was Pretty Hate Machine, which was really just a techno album, kind of a dancey techno. I mean, it was harder and better than a lot of that stuff. But it was 5 years later. That's when that album came out, Downward Spiral, and you had to like kind of remove what you thought about 9 Inch Nails beforehand.
I unfairly put him in the Rob Zombie bucket, which he doesn't. No, it was my mistake. It was my ignorance.
And my wife was great because what JB does to people, I do to her. So like, if I need to be a certain type of way, I usually test it out on her first.
Okay. Yeah. You're going weapon mode.
Yes, and we've gone in the playoffs. We've gone up to almost 5 to 7 days without speaking.
That is weapon mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went 5 hard days where it's we're not even communicating right now. But it was necessary because we all have to feel playoff mode. We all got to be in it.
So she's also in weapon mode.
She's in weapon mode more than I am. Partly because she lives with me. You have to be in weapon mode.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%.
When you guys are in weapon mode together at the same time, is that cool? Or do you recognize all right, game, respect, game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Yeah. Do your kids go to weapon mode? Is the whole house in weapon mode?
We try to keep the kids out of it, but I'm trying to teach my oldest how to get into that. Because,
they're mini weapons.
It's about
they're
time.
for sure mini weapons.
They got to learn sometime.
I could tell by your answer.
All right, maybe that wasn't the greatest, but okay. We will be back. We'll be back in just a moment. We know who the Bruins are playing. We know the Celtics are playing. We can discuss. We can even take phone calls. I don't necessarily like to. But 617-779-0985 if you'd like to discuss either of those playoff series. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Let's go to Dan. Dan, hello, Dan.
Hi. I saw on the news the other day, there's a new book out by Mo Willems. It's My Bird Day. It's about a pigeon, and he had a big puppet pigeon on the news. I just didn't know John liked it, was offended by it. John, thoughts?
Not aware of it, but read all the books when my
Oh.
kids were kids. Yeah.
Don't
let the pigeon drive the bus, Fred.
Right.
What do you mean, don't let the pigeon drive
It's
the
a
bus?
series of books by Mo Willems.
Who's Mo Willems?
He is a wonderful author. He wrote Knuffle Bunny. He wrote Knuffle Bunny Free. What's the one with the hot dog? Pigeon and the hot dog?
Pigeon, don't let the pigeon eat the hot dog.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Don't let the pigeon drive the bus. Yeah, all those.
All right. I don't know those books because I'm not some kind of half-ass loser that read to my kids.
Yeah. They say that's bad. You shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Tom, go ahead.
Hi. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Tom.
So I have a hypothetical. Let's say the Celtics were involved in the play-in game, but the coach is allowed to decide whether the team plays the other team or the coach plays the other coach in one-on-one. And what coach would Joe Mazzulla be afraid to play?
Udoka?
I think Ime's in good shape. He wouldn't be scared of Nick Nurse. I'll tell you that.
John, this is a question for you because I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of all the coaches.
The coaches in the league, yeah.
I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of some of the coaches
Because
out
I
in the
think
West.
Mazzulla could probably take Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
Is this a fight are you talking about, or is this a
Are
one-on-one
guillotines
game?
allowed in this?
Are you talking about a fight? He's gone.
Oh.
I think it was something about literally one-on-one, like basketball.
Oh, then Steve Kerr. I mean, anyone.
Kerr's kind of, he's got medical issues.
Yeah.
I don't
He's got
care.
bad ticker.
Steve has jumped the shark a little bit. He's on the backside now.
I don't care. What does he have to do? He would just shoot threes. He'd shoot from the logo. Steve Kerr, there's no way Steve Kerr can't make everything that he shoots.
I thought it was like a bare knuckle brawl type of thing.
That's what I thought too. But if you want to go through the coaches, anyone that played in the NBA would beat him. That's not 70 years old. I mean, they're better than him.
That's fair.
Like I think Steve Kerr. Mazzulla's not like the tallest guy in the world.
Charlotte, Charles Lee, and Jamal Mosley for now in Orlando. I mean, look, they're a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you didn't see the footage from that media game.
Boy, he's really stuck it to the media there when Joe Mazzulla had the media play the professional basketball players.
But one of the funniest things when he was on talking about it with Bertrand and Solak, and Vito goes, "Wow, you're the man."
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Good
was
for
a
you.
swing. I think Mazzulla would tell you that was a bit of a swing and a miss. Which makes me question maybe how smart he is, because it's like you thought this was gonna in any way reflect well on you.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations there, Kingpin. What, you mean the guys that coach basketball and played it? Wow, you're way better than the media. You really showed them. Why don't we have an essay contest?
You and Sam Cassell beat B-Rob and Chris Forsberg. Great.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They should. If he would have done something like even chess, then that would have been interesting, because I would take it Mazzulla is super into chess because he's like that kind of person, and he knows Josh Waitzkin.
Of course.
So like if he sat down and like beat everyone in chess, that would be kind of like I'm a better strategist in mentally.
If he did one of those cool like 10 matches at once and went down the table and just made a move, hit the clock, made a move, hit the clock.
Queen's Gambited that mother effer.
That's right.
All right, so John, we know they're playing Philadelphia at this point.
Yeah.
And to get back to something we were talking about earlier, Skip Bayless has information that, by the way, that Embiid could be playing after his appendectomy, but he's choosing not to. Which, I mean,
ridiculous.
That's like the information he got that Aikman was gay that he ran with.
Right.
I mean, that's to me preposterous. Athletes don't not play because of the reason athletes don't play when they're hurt is because they don't want to get hurt worse or again. I don't think it's because they just don't want to play. I would imagine if you gave Embiid a chance to play in the playoffs, that he would gladly take it.
He had an appendectomy 5 days ago.
Right. And I have to imagine there's like a wound.
Yeah.
That they had. I know that they can probably get in, through a much smaller hole than they used to, maybe through the groin. But I would still imagine there's an open wound that they would be afraid of staph and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's what minimum. I haven't had one, so it's a minimum 2 weeks. A minimum of 2 weeks.
Oh, don't worry, you'll have one. It seems like everything's falling off your ears.
Fair enough.
Okay,
So-
but anyway, so
Well, maybe you see Embiid at the end of this series.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah,
if it goes far enough.
But again, then he's like a crusty 7-footer that's been all banged up. I don't know if he can just walk into a game. So it seems like that's a ramp-up process for him. I mean, he can barely move.
Truthfully, and we've said this before, Philadelphia's probably better without him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they get up and down the floor a lot better without him.
Yeah. I mean, you could make the debate. I don't know in the playoffs if they're better without him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I think
I do. It does change a little bit, but the NBA, by and large, is far more of an up-and-down league than it used to be.
No.
And we saw him play in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was like a manual shift car stuck in neutral.
No,
I mean, it
the
was
Olympic
bad.
team was far better with him off the court.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that.
Yes, but anyway, without Joel Embiid, the 76ers have guys that can score. I don't know how good the defense is. Andre Drummond is very, very good, as you both know, defensively and rebounding, and now he's shooting threes, but this team doesn't match up. Chris Forsberger sat here and said either way, whether it was Orlando or Philadelphia, the Celtics should win in 5, and I agree with them. You have to give Tyrese Maxey one of those games where he scores 45 and you can't stop him and you lose. But I'm not prepared to go beyond that. So the Celtics should win. And to be honest with you, I'd prefer Philadelphia over Orlando simply because of the physicality. And we saw what happened in the first round last year. Orlando has a lot of big guys. They're very physical. And I prefer when you have to play the Knicks and probably Detroit back-to-back. And by the way, if it's not Detroit, Cleveland, who has their fair share of big guys, you're going to be physical in the next 2 series. So I would prefer the shifty, non-physical team over the rather large team in round 1. So I think this is the best possible scenario for the Celtics, and they should win rather easily.
I'm watching the replay of Drummond hitting that dagger 3-pointer last night, and to say that the bench loses their mind is an understatement. So, yes, he has been shooting threes, and he was 30% on the season or something, but
Wow.
I still think of Andre Drummond as the 22 rebound a night guy. And
Who you
nothing
foul
else.
at the end of games.
But that's the thing. I mean,
Because he literally couldn't make a free throw.
There was a time, if you look at Al Horford's career, where he was that guy. He was the rebound guy. He was a guy who was good for 15 points a game. And then,
By the way, he had to go to the locker room last night to screw around with something before he came back.
Right. I mean, he's also almost 40. So,
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. is
yeah.
that- yeah.
But the light went on for Horford. If you were to look at his career stats, all of a sudden there was a spike in threes because he realized what the game was heading towards.
Mm-hmm.
And Drummond now in his early 30s understands if his career is going to be prolonged, he's going to have to start shooting those. So Drummond took 93s this year, which is about 65 more than he's ever taken in a season. And to give himself credit, he's hitting about a third of them, which for a guy who just
That's
started
pretty
shooting
amazing.
threes
It
is pretty amazing.
To start doing that late?
And
I
he
think he
also-
was 32 for 90 this year.
And he's a
from three.
63% free throw shooter, which is
Better than it used to be.
But it's also strange that you could hit 30 from 3 and then you're 60% from the free throw line. But it's one of those big guy things that I just think they are too strong, maybe.
The ball's
Maybe.
too small for their hands.
Yeah,
or
there's
something.
something going on where it's easier for them to shoot from distance than it is from the free throw line. And while we're at it, I will just tell you this. I have done my research. I spent a lot of time yesterday doing things I love, like watching a game that my son doesn't play in because he's pitching on Saturday.
Oh, he didn't play yesterday.
Well, no, but it's good because he's starting on Saturday.
Oh, good.
So, but the thing is yeah. But
I can't believe I forgot to ask.
I know.
I was a little
kicking
disappointed.
myself too.
We've
got to get the play-by-play.
I won't do it. I won't do it. But I almost texted you in the middle of it.
Yeah. Just okay. Let's save it for later. But so I've done research. I now, gentlemen, believe based on the way that the season has gone for the opponent, that the Boston Bruins are going to win the first round of the playoffs.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
The Blues are a bit of a illusion.
Sabres, you mean?
I'm sorry. I get them confused.
Yep.
Wrong conference, dummy.
Yeah. Same about city fan base colors. So you got to excuse me. But Buffalo, a bit of maybe this challenges my research that I got the team wrong. But Buffalo, I was studying St. Louis the whole time. Buffalo, again, was really bad at the beginning of the season. Apparently, they've had a ton of luck. They are missing their backup goaltender now. The guy who's starting is not very good, and there is concern if something happens to him, and they're going to have to go to a kid that hasn't really played.
Buffalo has put on, since January 1st, and Ryan Johnston was the one who told us this, Buffalo has been as good as the Bruins were a couple of years ago when they posted that record one-loss record. So Buffalo's been that good, but they've had problems with the Bruins. The Bruins have a certain style that is suited to the playoffs, and the Sabres have zero playoff experience. I don't think it's wild to say the Bruins should win this series.
And it's just, I looked at, and you're right, I looked at how Buffalo's season went, and it's really the tale of two seasons. And the way that they play and the flaws that they have, I think if the Bruins play that structure that they've been playing all season, and look, this 7-game series, but I'm talking, and maybe it's like a 5-2 game to start that they lose. But I just think over the course of 7 games that the Bruins, the way they've played this year, to me, is more consistent than the situation in Buffalo.
They have a decided advantage in net as well.
Well, yeah, and because if Buffalo has to pull their goalie in a game, they're putting in a kid. I can't recall, but I think might be a rookie. Like they're a guy with very, very little experience.
If Swayman gets hot, and it's not outlandish to say that, if Swayman gets hot, then you got something here, considering how defensive-minded this team can be. Now, as we said before, there have been times where they've spun into a ditch. They have 3 losing streaks of 5 games or more. But I think...
But when they do falter, though, it's not just a fault of them not being able to score goals. They lose their minds defensively, too. And you say that they've been more consistent than Buffalo. Maybe. Comparatively speaking, I didn't watch enough of the Sabres this year to know how consistently they played. But I know that there was plenty of inconsistency from the Bruins, especially when it came to the defensive side of things.
What I'm saying is that the Bruins, look, they had losing streaks and they had all this stuff. But Buffalo was horrendous at the beginning of the season. And I understand that it's more important how you play at the end of the season, but it's not like the team's vastly different than it was in the beginning. It's just, I don't know. I've convinced myself that Buffalo is kind of a fraudulent 108-point team. Like that, and the Bruins are a 100-point team. It's not like there's a huge difference. But I just don't think, certainly Buffalo's not some elite team that's unbeatable. Like, right? Like, they're not.
Correct.
Like the Penguins with Lemieux and Yager. Like, they're not some crazy-ass team. I do believe that this is a really good matchup. Carolina, I'd like in 6. 5 or 6. Buffalo, I think they beat in 7. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. So take that. I gave you a sports take about a team I like. That doesn't happen every day. Yeah. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub.
as everyone needs to look at what Adam 12 is wearing. Look at me. Look at me. Yesterday he had a shirt on that was, and he points to it and he goes, "It's a trombone." Like, I didn't know it was a trombone. And he's like, "My girlfriend gave it to me." And I'm like, "She thinks so little of you."
You don't like my David Lynch shirt today? This was also a gift from my brother.
Now, I don't dislike David Lynch. You don't even do TM.
No, not yet.
Oh, well, it's so difficult to get into.
Cost prohibitive for me to
get
into
nonsense.
Right now.
Just you can.
It is. You got to pay like a lot of money to get the training and all that
but
crap.
you don't need. You can get it for free, and it's the training is nonsense. They do is give you a word to say to yourself. It's not a big deal.
I want to do it legit though. I want to learn it from someone who's actually learned it. You know.
Well, I'll give you the app.
Okay.
And you can hear the guy go on and on about it. And
that's what I'm looking for.
Read the book that he wrote, David Lynch. Like Under the, I have it. I'll give it to you.
Yeah. I'll
give
the
it
one
to
book
you.
I haven't read. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
It takes 10 seconds to read.
Yeah.
It's
Superfan over here hasn't read it.
I know it's annoying, but he's got a shirt on that's just David Lynch's face. It's all over his stupid body.
So we're catching up on Jeopardy last night. This, invitational tournament, second game, and one of the answers is Laura Palmer, as in the who killed her in
Twin Peaks. Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of knew what they were going for. I couldn't think of it. Marcy didn't get it. Calvin comes up with the answer as we're sitting there watching during dinner. I said,
"Kid,"
and I looked at him. I said, "Why did you know that?" And he said, "Oh, like some of my friends started watching it, like maybe during COVID or something, and it was like a thing." He said, "Is it good? Should I watch it?" And I said, "No."
Calvin, don't listen to him. You should absolutely watch.
Your son might be like sneaky brilliant.
One, yeah.
No.
He comes up with stuff when we're watching Jeopardy, and my wife and I look at each other and we're like, "Huh." We're convinced this kid is 3/4 dopey, and every once in a while he'll come up with an answer like that.
I have a feeling he's got stuff going on. He might be brilliant in a way.
You know what, Fred? I'm going to back you up on that because I think he's also putting on a little bit of a show that he's dopey because it probably benefits him at home.
Well, he's got to kowtow to his father.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's like Ferris Bueller. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's like really like Ferris Bueller.
Well, the Ferris Bueller thing, or like the old, I think it was probably a Tim Allen bit about like you pretend not to know how to do anything, and that way you're never asked to do anything.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Twin Peaks, the Tangway had an idea. That was stolen. That was in the studio system for a long time.
Give me your pitch for Twin Peaks.
Spec script. Here we go. Rocky Suarez. She's got Twin Peaks, but here's the thing. You're thinking mountains. No, I'm talking about boobs, cans, casabas.
All right.
Huge melons on her chest.
All right.
All right. So anyway, she's solving crimes. End of story. So this is being passed around Paramount.
So, but what's the plot beyond her large chest?
Murder of some kind. Anyway, she's solving it. So this is going around Paramount. Everyone's got their hands on it. So I'm like, I got a piece, right? Yeah, cool.
You got points?
Yeah, I got points. So I want someone like Andy Sedaris to do this thing. I want it dangerous, and I want to see him. Like a young Lady Chatterley, but dumber. And then what happens
But
is
she's solving crimes.
they get some dork on this thing, and he's like, "I'm making Twin Peaks," and I'm like, "All right." And I watch it, and I'm like, "I can't follow this thing." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "All right, Poindexter, where are the boobs?" And then Sherilyn Fenn is in stuff, and I'm like, "All right, she's hot to try." And I got to buy a Playboy to see those two casabs. Anyway, that's why he's a failure.
Yeah.
What just happened?
So I had the idea for.
Oh boy!
He's very pleased.
I had the original.
I see it coming.
I had the original idea for Eraserhead.
Oh
boy!
Okay.
It was an invisible woman. But the problem is, it felt good. But then you realized she made it go away. It was an erotic horror flick, Eraserhead. Oh. You know.
Now I get it.
You get it. It was the elevator pitch.
I understand.
It was like the guy at the farmhouse with the 3 holes.
Yeah.
It was like, like, whoa, this chick. Whoa, where'd it go? All right, anyway.
Sometimes I wonder when you stop yourself what's coming next.
It's always going to not please. It's always not going to hit. But to me in my head,
that was pretty good.
It works on multiple levels. Yeah. It's erase her head. It's erase her head. It can.
Yeah, it's an invisible bra.
That's how I read it, but that's fine.
Yeah, no, but there's a catch.
Yeah,
No,
it's a think piece. You got to.
Yeah, think about it.
Smart crowd will get it.
Yeah, well, it's one of these things. It's like I don't have to tell you. It's up to you to figure it out. Yeah, it's the same thing. I got Appetite for Destruction. No one who told me who his Rocket Queen was. I had to figure it out. All right, we have more music from a true genius before we get to Tom Caron at 8:20.
You're listening to
The Minnesota Twins at Target Field. Connerly early, 6 brilliant innings for the win. Sox are now 7-11. They're back home to play Detroit tomorrow night. Major League Baseball is investigating an incident from a couple of nights ago at which the Red Sox Darren Duran pointed an obscene gesture towards a fan he said joked about his attempted suicide. The Philadelphia 76ers beat Orlando last night 109-97 in the 7-8 play-in game of the NBA playoffs. That means the Sixers will play the Celtics in round 1 of the postseason starting on Sunday. Orlando will host Charlotte tomorrow night to see who the 8th seed is in the East. Hornets guard LaMelo Ball fined a total of $60,000 and assessed a flagrant foul after his takedown of Bam Adebayo and then his language with the media after a play-in win over Miami. And out west, Golden State rallied for a 126-121 road win over the Clippers. The Warriors visit Phoenix tomorrow night to see who the 8th seed is in the West. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing. Never, ever replace your roof again. It's East Coast Metal Roofing's Spring in the Savings event where Sports Hub listeners get 10% off their new roof that is guaranteed to last a lifetime. Call 844-611-ECMR or eastcoastmetalroofing.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
The Sports Hub. 3 legendary franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Beautiful, my love. Oh, tell me something beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful.
My love, my love. Sing me a love song.
All right. I hate to do this to the ladies. I know that we don't have a massive female audience, but there are those of you out there. And if you're driving to work, I don't mean to send you into sexual ecstasy this early in the morning.
But why?
Because I know that so much for you ladies involving how you feel romantically, sexually is about feeling safe and loved. So much of it is mental. And alcohol has finally figured it out. Finally, some guy, us dumb guys, has figured out how to make a woman feel sexual ecstasy.
What do you like in a woman? What? Yeah, you tell me.
Brains.
Yes, he loves to play with brains.
Maybe you're the one that's weird.
He wasn't saying that to us.
No.
I did ask him what happened if you have to take duty before the woman comes over because you won't be clean. And he didn't have an answer for that. He was basically like, hold it. You know, if you can't shower, you got to hold it. Yeah, that is him. And Al Cole, any girl, right? Any girl? You'll get any girl?
Even if they're fat.
Oh, he did say that to us. He said, even if they're fat, he doesn't care. So Al Cole just likes women a lot. And women like Al Cole. So Al Cole used to do overnights on WZLX, and he would, like, midnight to 5 or whatever it was. And he used to, romanticize the studio. He had, like, one of these old school, like, kind of like seduction love lines. If you're of a certain age, you might, in every city, this wasn't Al Cole, but he was like this guy. Every city had a guy that they wouldn't show in the commercial. Like, he was this unknown sexy
David
voice.
Allen Boucher was here in Boston.
Yeah, we had one in Detroit. I don't remember him. It's not like I listened to him, but they used to have ads.
He was the Venus flytrap.
Oh, yeah.
If you go back to WKRP days.
Yeah, like kind of he was there to seduce the ladies. But Al Cole, while you're doing this, women are calling in. Why not meet up and have sex? So, according to Al Cole, this was what he did. He's had many women multiple women at the same time. Any scenario is not out of line for Al Cole. And Al Cole is also a musician. You can do him a favor if you're on a streaming service. I'm not on Spotify because the guy that runs it's a lunatic. and the audio quality is horrible. I do Apple Music, which is Adam told me it was much better audio quality, and I dismissed it, and then I did it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he's right. So my suggestion is to get off Spotify. Apple Music is everything Spotify has. Oh, except for the great podcasts that you can never find anywhere else. And like, where am I going to find these podcasts? Oh, everywhere. They're on YouTube. Okay, so anyway, Al Cole. This is a song called Jungle Chill. We know Jungle. Now, I haven't heard these songs in either of you guys, to my knowledge, but Jungle Love was a hit for the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think maybe something jungle-like, that's going to incorporate nature sounds and, getting away from some of his techno sounds that we've heard in other Al Cole music.
Because when we explored him a few days ago, we realized Al Cole does get Laurie Anderson-like. He does get experimental.
Mm-hmm.
And so here is Al Cole.
Very jungle-like.
Yeah.
Right away.
Devo.
Well, perhaps the jungle is a reference to the musical genre. Maybe he's making like jungle drum and bass style music that was popular in Britain in the 1990s. Maybe that's what the jungle reference is.
Never heard of that.
Al Cole was in the Jungle Brothers.
Yes,
he was in the native. He was part of the Native Tongues. Yeah,
absolutely.
all right, here
yes.
we go. Can we do more references? No one knows.
I have trouble finding the one. Just a musical reference there. Where's the downbeat?
I don't think he's not a slave to time.
No, he's almost John Lee Hooker-esque. He just kind of pushes through a phrasing, and he's like, I'm going to let the music kind of take over. It's almost like a soundscape.
Al's like, I take your notes and I just crumple them up and I throw them away. It doesn't have to be pleasing. You demand music to sound good, you idiot. This sounds like the woman is you're coming in from behind. This sounds like this romance is this is a night of unleashed passion. This isn't staring into your eyes and telling you that you love you. This is just unleashed passion.
What's going on back there?
Guess what?
Now we're doing this.
You agreed.
Suzumi Hacha.
So I wasn't able to decipher the language here, but it did remind me of something else.
Oh.
What is this?
That's from the second Indiana Jones.
He's crazy.
Yeah, the incantations of that evil bald guy in Indiana Jones.
If you're with Al Cole, you will speak in tongues.
Yeah.
You will start doing I mean, he can drumming up spirits just by the noises that the women make. Does it just keep going on like this, or does he sing?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's all? Okay.
That's pretty much it. I mean, if you don't like the idea of him speaking another language, you can put English in there, and it works too.
I knew he worked with Sully from Godsmack. I had a feeling. I had a feeling that it's funny. I wonder if when he listens to Voodoo, he realizes that he could just have put that over anything.
Yeah.
All right, and this one is called "I Am a Robot or Are You?"
I'm a robot.
Yeah, he's got this weird robot thing, which I don't know if anyone understands.
No robots need reply.
Maybe this is his reaction to AI.
I think it is. So he's trying to tell you that, no, this is me. This is my actual human talent going on.
I feel like we dug into that with some of his audio last year. He was speaking out on that, Hardy. I think you're right about that.
Yeah, I think he's like, you need a real man. Like, you need flesh on flesh. Okay. He loves brains. I'll tell you. All right. Here we go.
I am not a robot.
Well, that sounds like if I'm a woman. It's a good pickup line.
Okay.
Just the way you say it there. I feel safe.
I'm not put off at all.
No, it seems like a safe environment to make love.
I am not a robot.
You know, a killer would never say that before plunging the knife into you. You know? As much as I love women, I at times do feel sorry for them. Because if you're at a guy's house.
This doesn't sound like anything that would happen in a post-apocalyptic hellscape at all.
Yeah, like if you come back to a guy's house, like you are like putting an incredible amount of trust in that guy.
I am not a robot.
And that's not something I want to hear. I'm thinking like, oh boy. Hachi machi. I've really stepped into it this time. Like, I'm not saying this if a girl's over.
I am not a robot.
No, my idea is to make it like, look, man, everything's cool.
Yeah.
You're safe.
I am not a robot.
So he goes, I'm not a robot, and then just proceeds to play robot sounds.
Make a bunch of robot sounds, yeah.
Okay.
It's not easy to comprehend first listen. You gotta hear this 10, 12 times.
Al, get back to the old school, like Luther Vandross stuff. I'm not feeling your electronic turn.
I am not a robot.
Okay, that's just bad.
You see,
I hate to say it, but
well,
Al, that's not good.
You say robot, I hear Flowbot.
I can ride my bike with no handlebars, no handlebars.
I can.
No. What?
Thank you for bringing that back, by the way. That band deserves every reference that they get.
BCN, what was it?
Oh, we played
Christmas
Flow.
Rave,
that was the last one-hit wonder played on WBCN.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
Yeah, we played Flowbots.
yeah.
Ugh. Oh, why'd you have to bring the Flowbots back?
No, but Hardy, I think you're onto something here. This phase that Al Cole is in with his music right now, I think the two of you collaborating is really what's going to take it to whatever the next level is. And when I spoke with him earlier this year, he was absolutely jazzed by all of the
he's
collaborative effort you put into taking his music and remixing it.
Yeah, he's
This one goes out to the world, baby.
Chill, not on my side as my ego becomes a funky child with some more than my tongue. Be like in, take a breath, and my mouth gets loose. So while I scatter my spit, I dream of juice.
So you're saying Al's open to someone making his music better?
Yes, and also Al thought that was
dare you.
He was not familiar with the music of Red Hot Chili Peppers or 311, which is funny because he probably
This one goes out to the world, baby.
Oh, do you think he paid attention to one song he was playing? Do you think he heard? Let's be honest. I'm sorry I talked over that, but do you think Al Cole heard one song?
No, he was on the phone the whole time.
The song was turned all the way down. He just saw the timing on the CD, because I would imagine most of his time was CDs. He saw the clock ticking on the CD. You could have asked him his playlist, and he would not have known in 10 seconds. He was trying to get laid. I told you the story at 99X. We had a fairly mild-mannered general manager who I liked, Mark Ranier. And believe me, we got in so much trouble. The guy could have fired me at any moment. But he found out one day, this is the most embarrassing I've told this story before, but this is the most embarrassing meeting I've ever been in. Okay, you guys, the audience, can imagine this. It's a music station, you're DJs. Outside of the morning show, you're really not talking a ton. They're air checking your shows, but they're really just supposed to be, here are the Flowbots. Like, you know, hey, 99X is going to be in the park, a free concert.
You're a liner jock.
You're doing liners. Like, I got to experiment at night. I got to do long breaks at night. They gave me a lot of freedom, but most overnight, you're not screwing around, right? So there's this meeting, and there's this guy. I'm going to say his name, Nick Carter. And Nick Carter was had this incredible, almost Al Cole baritone. He was this big African-American guy. He had this like incredible baritone voice. He did a lot of voiceovers. He worked in radio long after this. So we're sitting in this meeting, and in comes the general manager. Why is Mark here? And he goes, Nick, what the hell did you do last night? And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, who's El Erotico? And he goes, oh. And he starts playing tapes of the overnight show on an alternative rock station. And it's this guy, Nick Carter, going, hey, this is El Erotico. And he's being dead serious. Like, call in. And then he would have girls on the phone, and you'd be like, what's up, baby? What do you got to say to El Erotico? And, oh, no. Was it embarrassing?
Was it funny in a weird? Was it so weird it was funny?
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It was bad.
Oh boy.
And it was in. He was humiliating the guy in front of him, and it was awful. I felt really bad for him, but I also was like, "What the hell are you doing?" You have to understand. This is a big radio station. This was a big deal. Like you got it. He wasn't the overnight DJ either. He was just doing a shift, and he had taken it and created a persona called El Erotico, where he was trying to seduce women. Like even if he was trying to get laid, it was like embarrassing. Like everything was kind of you know what an alternative radio station in 2001 was supposed to sound like?
Yeah, it's a
detached irony.
And I was going to say that's a tough move to pull off when you're going into Alice in Chains' Man in the Box,
or you're going into REM, or you're going into whatever
Godsmack.
Not even. It wasn't that era. It was like at 99X at that time. Our imaging was that detached, ironic. I don't really care about this. That was everything. And he did El Erotico. I couldn't tell you how embarrassing it was. Awful. Well, Al, he away from this electronic stuff. It's not hitting the mark. It's not hitting.
I'm waiting for a ballad. When does a ballad happen?
I just want the ladies to start getting moist. And this ain't cutting it.
Most women are looking for love.
That's true. You're all looking for love. You're wandering around. You're wandering around aimlessly looking for love. All right, Al. I'm disappointed by the electronic stuff. Get on it. You ain't gonna get the listens with that stuff. Get back to your bread and butter. That's seducing broads. Come on. Not good. I wish I could do more with it. But I'm just telling you, it's not good. Like, this is the El Erotico of Al Cole stuff. This is just not good. It's just not good. There's not a lot to play with. It's just literally bad. I don't know what more to tell you. And as someone who likes Al Cole, I'm telling you, don't do this again. It's enough of this.
I am not a robot.
Yeah, I know. And that's a shame because a robot probably would do better. So I'm on Team Al Cole, but as a friend, I got to say, stop this. It's not even. There's not even enough to play with. It's like Prince got knocked in the head with a hammer. It's like if you took Prince and just hit him 17 times on the head with a hammer and said, make a song.
I think that's leaving the gym on a make right there.
All right, let's do that. Tom Caron, ladies and gentlemen, will be joining us in just a moment.
Use all his pitches against a great offense. They're really good at what they do. They're very disciplined at what they do, and they've been hitting lefties hard. For him to give a 6 was very important.
We are Toucher and Hardy. I'm sorry, I just had to take care of one thing. Tom Caron is someone that we like so much and does such an excellent job on NESN, which is saying something. Because he's really the only guy on NESN. I mean, but he's great. Tom Caron, they actually probably have to spend money on instead of the rest of the programming. Which the mad fisherman.
But he's always there. He's there.
Well,
listen. Joe, I mean, how about Joe Murray? I mean, Joe Murray, a regular on NESN.
I told Joe this. Joe was in the other day, and I do like that show, and I think that it's great that they're doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're putting Joe on TV. I like the Lucy woman that's on that show. I think she's clever, and I think that's a good show, but I wish, I do mean this as a compliment to you, Tom. I think that what you guys do with the Red Sox games is great. I think a lot of what they do with the Bruins is great. I love Billy Jaffe. He's a friend. I like that. I do like they're trying to put more programming on, and I think that's a good idea. I think they're investing in the product.
But still plenty of Charlie Moore.
Well, that's okay. Well, he pays for the time. So
that's important.
By the way, claim to fame, I named him the Mad Fisherman. Did you know that?
Congratulations.
Wow. So we blame you.
That's something I definitely add to the resume, Tom.
Your dealings with Charlie have been a lot more positive than mine, man.
A lot of people.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, I've never.
Does he return your phone calls?
You ever
now?
been like mother effed in Heisman by the Mad Fisherman? Like,
no.
And then he's like, "What did I do?" And it's like, "You're a dick." I don't know what to tell you. Like, what did I do? I don't know. You were wearing a ostentatious Rolex and we're a dick.
When is he going to be on the desk with you after a Red Sox?
We're putting Tom in an uncomfortable position.
Usually that's late in the season when a new season of the Mad Fisherman comes on.
It might be. Fair enough. Well, listen, we all know when that's coming.
Cross promotion.
Tom Caron, though, is great. We love having you on. Thank you, Tom. I don't mean to put you in a position. I just want NESN to do more, and they are trying, so I do like that.
Yes, before we get started with the Red Sox in here and now, I was watching the pre- and post-game show. They added Rich Hill for the first time yesterday. Rich Hill is fantastic, Tom.
Wasn't he good?
Yes.
You know, I was hanging with him a little bit after the show yesterday, and we were just talking about it. And, you know, what he does, and it usually takes guys years to get to this, is he was talking to us like he was talking to teammates in the clubhouse after a game. You know, like he was just sort of supernatural. After the first show, we did the pregame show on Monday. And before we did the post-game show, I actually ran back out of the and I grabbed a baseball and threw it to him. I said, just hold this. And every show since, you could see him sort of fiddling with the baseball. It just made him feel that much more comfortable. But he can break. I mean, he's pitched 21 years in the major leagues, but he can break down a pitcher like very few major leaguers, past or present, I've ever dealt with. He was really good.
And that's what the magic is that if you can find a guy that played and talks like he did in the clubhouse, because as you know, Tom, if players flipped out after every game, 162 of them, they wouldn't be in the major leagues for long. You understand? So like when they talk like a player, and a pitcher can tell you what a pitcher's thinking and, you know, how they handle failure, like little failures during the course of a game, like how they handle that stuff. That makes you appreciate the game, and it improves the interest in the game day in and day out.
I think that's exactly right, man. We did it the pregame Tuesday, right? So you said little failures. Well, there's big failures too. Garrett Crochet Monday, right? Literally one of the worst starts in the history of the Boston Red Sox, certainly the worst of his career. And, we did a segment the next night, Tuesday before the game, where, he didn't know, he couldn't say that Garrett Crochet is tipping his pitches, but that's the first thing you go to, right? When it looked like they had a pitch comm in their batting helmets and knew what was coming. But he did a whole segment on, if I were Garrett Crochet, this is what I would be looking for when I went back in the video room the next day. Is my glove too close to my head on a fastball? Is it pulling away on an off-speed pitch? Little tells. And again, he wasn't saying any of these were tells for Crochet, but it was really fascinating to watch. He basically took us back to his play days. Like, if I got rocked, and he said, he got rocked plenty of times over the course of his career. And he said, this is how you do it. You go in and you're looking and you're freezing and you're looking at video and you're looking at it from different angles. What's it look like from the third base coach? What's it look like from the first base coach? So that's good stuff, because that's sort of the inside baseball that we don't get enough of.
You know who I heard one of the best how you handle things on the mound from was Sonny Gray. Is there was a time that Sonny Gray was talking about how he was throwing, he gave up like 3 runs in the first inning, and the ump was, this is before ABS, but it still would count because you can't go to ABS every pitch. But he was saying the ump wasn't calling low strikes. And he's like, I'm like relying on this. I need ground balls. Like, how am I going to handle this? How am I going to adjust it? And he was talking about how he was thinking on the mound, like, okay, I've given up 3 runs in the first inning. I've thrown 40 pitches in the first inning. And that he figured it out and was able to get through 6 innings in that game. Like, his adjustments, like that these pitchers, okay, this isn't working. I've given up 3 runs. What's my job from this point on? Settle down. If I can eat up 5 innings of this game, how am I going to do that? Like, those are the things that's fascinating about baseball from a pitching perspective.
And Rich was talking about that, right? Because Sonny Gray went on Tuesday, and Sonny Gray is a fascinating dude. Rich Hill was with him in Oakland way back. I think it was Sonny's second year in the majors. And, like Rich Hill at the point of, listen, sometimes you get selfish. You're losing by 8 runs and you've been awful for 2 innings. But if I can get 2 more innings, I'm going to lower my ERA a little bit, right? Like, or I'm going to save 1 reliever for tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
Now they only have to give me 5 innings instead of 7 innings, right? Those little things for a pitcher, even though they might not affect the outcome of the game, might affect what the bullpen looks like 2 days later. Well, and that's important stuff.
And that's the thing, is that you said it absolutely correctly. We all can think of, like, they don't even want to have to get guys up, right? Like, they don't want these guys even having to throw in the bullpen. And from an ERA perspective, okay, I've given up 4 runs in the first inning, fine. That's terrible. But if I can get even 3 or 4 more innings, not giving up anything, not only is it good for the bullpen, but my ERA is vastly superior. That's why a guy like Crochet can have an inning like that, where he gave up 10 earned runs, or 2 innings, or inning and a third, where he gave up 10 earned runs. And by the end of the season, it kind of all evens out. Yes, Jonathan.
You were talking about length out of the starters, and Tom, it's striking. The Red Sox way to success is to have the starters go 6 innings. Connolly Early was fantastic yesterday. 6 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. Red Sox, check me if I'm wrong, 7-0 when their starters go 6 innings, 0-11 when they don't.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's the key. If they get 6, they win. And it's a fairly simple formula for most teams. If you get 6 innings out, Crochet said it remember the game against Mazzulla, Milwaukee, he said his goal was just to go deeper than Mazzulla. Because if I go deeper than their starter, I know we got a pretty good chance to win. But if you go 6, baseball across the game now, if you go 6, that's long in this day and age. But for the Red Sox, it's been everything, because there's a little Jekyll and Hyde stuff here with the starters. They've been either really good or we've had some really bad starts. And that's a tough way to live. It's kind of like the Bruins at the beginning of the season. It was the weirdest 500 team I ever saw. You'd win 6 in a row and then lose 6 in a row and you're 500. But that's not, those are peaks and valleys. That's not what a 500 team feels like. So, this was supposed to be an elite starting rotation. And you had it one turn through, the one that began with that start for Crochet against Milwaukee, went all the way through to the end. They had a 1.5 something ERA over 5 starts, which is why he felt so good going into Minnesota. We'll never know because they keep this stuff in-house. I got to think Minnesota had something on Crochet. It's interesting, right? Victor Caratini used to be with Houston. Houston's always hit him pretty well. Caratini's now with Minnesota. Minnesota's always hit him pretty well. So sometimes, it's not as straight as tipping. It's not that simple.
Well, Houston cheats. Follow the
straight
logic,
up.
But some teams do figure out something about a guy, some kind of little tell that they'll keep in house. And that's one thing Rich was saying us, which again, another thing I had never thought of before. He goes, sometimes you get a guy who moves to your team and you go to him and like, yeah, you've always hit me well. Do you have something on me? And those guys won't tell you because they might end up playing for another team someday and they don't want to give it up because they want to hit you. So baseball can be a tough sport.
But I have to ask you, if Crochet's right and he's at his best, isn't it true that even if he's tipping a bit, you're not getting 10 runs off of him? Like Crochet's good enough, you can know what's coming, right? Like Crochet's good enough that if I know he's throwing if I'm left-handed and I know he's throwing a fast, let's say I'm left-handed, I know he's throwing a slider. I'm not hitting it necessarily. I'm not hitting it hard necessarily, right? Like there's if he's on, that shouldn't be 10. Right? If he's on, it shouldn't be 10 runs.
No, that's exactly right. His velocity was down, and he discounted it, but it was about 1.5 miles down. My concern is it was down through spring training as well. And that happens a lot in spring training, and you just automatically assume that a guy's going to get it back when you go to the big games, right? The games mean more. You got more adrenaline. He'll get that velocity. Well, he hasn't. He's been 94, 95, not 96. And, Jonathan Papelbon on the show had a great point early in the season. He was with ABS now, right, where you maybe are going to lose some of the edges of the strike zone. He said pitchers are going to have to be able to succeed throwing a fastball when everybody knows you're throwing a fastball. And that's to your point, Fred. And if you've got the velocity, you've got that margin for error. And that even if I leave it out over the plate, if it's got a little extra hump on it, then you're not going to be able to do anything with it. He didn't have it the other day. And I think more than anything, forget about Minnesota having something on him or whatever it is. The lack of velocity, that little tick down, I think is that's what's concerning. That's what you have to watch now for Crochet going forward.
Now, John felt compelled to ask you a hard-hitting baseball question, but I can tell you what John really wanted to talk to you about was today being the 19th anniversary of an incident at Fenway Park that happened on Patriots Day in 2007. Do you know what the anniversary is?
It's got to be the pizza day. It's got to be the pizza.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Be pizza. Here comes the pizza.
That's right. Which has lived in infamy ever since. There have been documentaries produced about the incident. Have you spoken with the people involved since then, Tom?
Not the pizza tossers, no. But that's. Listen, I always say the beauty of going to a baseball game is different from going to any other sport. You go to a Patriots game, you sit on the edge of your seat, you watch football. You go to a Bruins game, you're caught up in the air. Baseball, you go to a game, you watch the game, you have a beer, you end up talking to 5 people around you who you've never met before. And sometimes you throw a pizza at one of them.
Right.
Well, Remy laughing during that is legitimately great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. He couldn't pull himself together. And the more he loses it, the more you watching it, you start to lose it too. Even if it's despite yourself, you can't help but laugh at it.
Right, because on paper, you're like, oh, big deal, a guy threw a pizza in another guy. But the way that Remy, legitimately, authentically couldn't handle it because of it was dumb. Like, that whole thing. And, I can't believe we're breaking down something this dumb.
But that's
what's so magical about that, because if you get another crew in there, if you get another like those idiots in Oakland, the guy who tries to sound funny, I don't mean to make Tom uncomfortable, but the TV crew in Oakland.
No, but Tom,
but they're not going to get that, right? Like, they're not going to do that. And it's not going to play right.
I don't know that every other production crew has it within them to slow it down and do the frame by frame breakdown of it.
There was an incident in Tampa, Tom. You saw this. A guy went for a foul ball and lost his pants, and they had no idea what to do with that.
Well, and that's the thing, right? And I do think that's what Jerry was so good at. He's so good at breaking down the game. You said, Will Milbush was talking about the broadcast yesterday about he could break down hitting as well as anybody could. But then he got the humor of the whole thing. He got how bizarre all of this is, right? The 162 games over the course of the season. And there are so many great moments where, he immediately, when it was the 3-man booth, with him and Eck, and they were so good at going off on tangents and following it. But that's, Russ Kent and Mike Narachi were in the truck, I think, that day, and they did such a good job of just going back to it and staying with it. You're following the guy. And the thing I always remember is the look on the guy's face. Like, why the hell would you throw a $7 slice of pizza in the middle of the game? I mean, it just
because he made him
no reason.
Because he made him spill a $12 beer.
There you go.
I guess that's fair. Just ask for another beer. I'll buy you a new beer. Just throw pizza at me. But Rem was the best at that. And yeah, I've watched that clip a million times. I mean, that is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Well, when I worked and then we got some baseball in with Tom, and then we got to talk about this. But we'll end with this. When I worked at CNNSI, and I was a very, very powerful guy that would mark clips in games for the editor.
Yeah.
And Willie Geis was actually the editor that I worked with. But
a tall drink of water.
Who knew? He just seemed like a loser to me, and then now here he is, much more successful. And but when you saw the feed from the TV stations that was like uncut during the commercials, at least at the time, some perverts out there. I can't lie to you. They would they would find the ladies in the crowd. There's no question about it.
I do think, and this is inside baseball here in TV, we've kind of lost some of that.
Yeah, I know.
With streaming now, there's always the concern that it's being seen somewhere.
Yep.
So, some of the best stuff we used to get to see was what they find during the commercials.
Well, if you get the Amazon NBA package, it's the feed it's the truck feed. Like, it's not, they don't, and so, it sucks.
Well,
sometimes it's kind of funny, not on purpose, but you can't get away with the stuff they used to get away with,
Not at all. And with the streaming, there's so many different platforms now. You're dependent on a lot of local people remembering to put up commercials at the right time. So you really have to watch what you say during the commercials. You have to watch what you show. So the innocence is gone in this whole thing. Fred.
Well, I mean, if you're an announcer, it's unfair. Like, if you're an announcer, I know we have to break. I'm sorry. I'm enjoying this. But Tom, like, if you're an announcer, like, it's even unfair. Like, you got to shut the F up. Like, you can't say anything. Like, you can't even say, like, even like in a casual conversation, like, it is a little unfair. I mean, everyone says something occasionally when they don't know they're on a microphone. We're human beings. Anyway, Tom, great job as always. We love Tom Caron. Watch him on NESN. It's the best studio show in baseball. Thank you, Tom.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go. I do mean that. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox avoided being
like you, Fred. I'm not worried.
The Sports Hub.
Fred's not here. Let's take some calls quick. Who's on? Is Blind Scott on? Who's on?
What do you
Sarah
think?
from Everett?
Actually, you know what?
Hold him up.
No blind
I
Scott.
went down to get sodas, and then I realized that I was hungry, so I didn't order on the Toast app. I just ordered down there.
You waited for it?
No. I was down there for 2 minutes. Come on, guys.
What'd you order?
You're giving me the business. What did I get?
Yeah. Avocado toast.
Avocado toast.
Yeah.
And?
Is it an omelet? Is it a
No.
Spanish omelet? What is that?
Eggs with jalapenos.
Scrambled
That's
eggs
what
with
it is.
jalapenos
That's
and hot
what it is.
sauce.
That's what it is.
Hot
Yeah.
and cold. It's like
Yeah.
a McDLT.
Yeah.
for the
Yeah, I
2020s.
rock it. Rock it. We can take a call if you want. You want to take a sports call?
Yeah.
Dave, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Dave.
Yeah, Dave. I mean,
So,
not great,
question
really.
about the Bruins. Bruins. I didn't like Peter Chiarelli.
Yeah.
I thought he.
Well, that's good call. I like it. Right to the point. He didn't like Peter Chiarelli. We have Dane Brugler on, who wrote The Beast, which is being
I've had something
disrespected.
stuck in my craw for a minute here.
A decade, actually.
Yeah,
When was the
Peter
last time-
Chiarelli.
When was Chiarelli here last?
Well, I was willing to hear the Peter Chiarelli stuff, but not at that pace.
Yeah.
That pace was not to my liking.
Been over a decade since he's been here.
I didn't like Peter Chiarelli either. He was weird. He was like super weird. There's no question about that. That's not speaking out of school. Peter Chiarelli was odd. He was a good GM, but he was very odd.
But he was like a C-level Bond villain, like on a really, really low-budget spy movie. That's the guy who you'd have, dapper and kind of evil. But it's like, can we get someone who's a little more menacing looking? No, this is all we could get.
Let's put it this way. He wasn't a jerk. He wasn't like a dig. He did not thrive in one-on-one or social situations. Peter Chiarelli was best served analyzing data, not so much speaking one-on-one, and that is not just my experience. Again, not a mean guy, not an evil guy, not a guy that had any bad intentions, just not almost impossible to talk to, which I think was not great for his job and the longevity of
Yes.
it. All right. Dane Brugler is going to join us, so everyone shut up. We got to get to break. He's going to talk about the draft and the beast. You're welcome. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more.
Fenway tomorrow night. Major League Baseball is investigating an incident 2 nights ago in which Red Sox Jarren Duran pointed an obscene gesture towards a fan he said joked about his attempted suicide. And the Celtics played Philadelphia in round 1 of the playoffs. The Sixers held off Orlando in a play-in game last night, 109-97, Game 1 at TD Garden on Sunday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, keeping drains flowing for homes and businesses in the greater Boston area since 1976. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Boston sports fans, these are the 2 words you'd love to hear. Playoff.
Post check by Lukanen, and the rebound scores!
The Bruins and the Buffalo Sabres.
Hurts and fires and scores!
And it all kicks off this weekend right here.
Shot backdoor, Swayman's got a piece of
on your home for Boston Bruins playoff hockey. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
I know. No, you don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
When you're excited about a guest, never do you realize more that a promo that could have been 2 seconds is stretched into 30. Yes, the Bruins are in the playoffs. I understand that. I don't know if I need every goal this season. Dane Brugler is the draft analyst. And this is my favorite time of year, sadly, in sports because I'm a Jets fan and this is our Super Bowl. But Dane Brugler is the best of it. I am not kidding, as sad as it may sound, that I am holding the Athletic, the Beast, the 611 some odd pages of draft analysis, and how excited was I to get this legitimately?
Exceptionally so. More excited than I've seen you in a long time.
So I am a nerd, but this is my thing, and Dane Brugler is my guy. Dane, thank you for joining us. He is the draft man at The Athletic. Thank you, Dane.
Good morning, guys. I appreciate that.
Okay, how many elite players are in this draft?
Oh, boy, elite. How are we going to define elite here?
All pro caliber.
You'd be shocked if they didn't make an impact in the NFL.
Like an all-pro type,
Yeah.
like a Myles Garrett-y kind of like sure thing, even if it's at a non-premium position.
In terms of maybe being, say, top 5, top 7 at their position, I think we might have 1, maybe 2. If we expand that to maybe top 10, top 15 at their position, then I think that number goes to 5 or 6. So it's a draft class that's a little bit light at the top, and I think sometimes we define a draft class by the quarterbacks and by the top 10 talent. And if you look at this class strictly through that lens, you're going to be underwhelmed by this draft class because it's the top 10 relative to other years, not as strong. Quarterback relative to other years, not as strong. We're going to see Fernando Mendoza go number 1, obviously, to the Raiders. And then we're on Ty Simpson watch. When does he come off the board? Will it be Thursday night? Will it be does he last in round 2 into Friday night? So I think those, we can define a draft, we sum them up that way, even though I think there are some stronger positions that have some guys that are the ceilings are a little higher where you feel like they could get there. They could become guys you'd consider in that elite category.
Okay, so I'm guessing Jeremiah Love is one of the 2 elite guys. Who's the other one?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and I think for me, Caleb Downs, I think I would include him in that just because I think it's an easier path for him to become a top 5 safety in the NFL compared to a guy like, maybe like a David Bailey becoming a top 5 pass rusher. Like they're just more high-level pass rushers. So it might be tougher. But in terms of impact, if a guy like Arvell Reese, if David Bailey, if they live up to where they're drafted, then it doesn't matter if they're the 5th best in the league, 9th best in the league. They're going to be big-time impact players for whoever drafts them. So, I don't want to paint it like this draft is just not worth watching and you're not going to get better. But it is a little bit lighter compared to other years.
Just real quick, I'm sorry, selfish question, last one. The only selfish
Oh,
question.
I wonder if it's about the Jets.
No, well, sort of, indirectly. But at the top of the draft, Arvell Reese or David Bailey If you had to take one of the two, regardless of situation, we're in a vacuum where you're a bad team, would you take Arvell Reese or would you take David Bailey, the edge from Texas Tech?
I'm taking Reese. In my opinion, he's the best player in the draft. I understand some of the concern about, he didn't play one singular position in college. But I think there's a big difference between being a tweener and then being a do whatever you need me to do type of player. And that's what he is, because not only the athletic talent, but how physical he plays, how smart he plays. And in that Matt Patricia defense for the Buckeyes, his value was the offense not knowing where he was going to be. One snap he's on the edge, the next he's stacked, the next he's a spy, the next he's blitzing through the A-gap. And so that's how, that was his value to the Ohio State defense. But in the NFL, if you want to put his hand on the ground and make him a full-time edge rusher, I have no doubt in my mind he can do that, because I saw him do it in college. And for a guy that's 245 pounds, he's so physical, so violent, no questions about him being able to set an edge. But I think that there's a hybrid nature to him that some might look at it and be a little concerned by that, just because they want their top 5 pick to be, keep him in a box. And this is exactly what he is. This is exactly what he's going to do. We're going to eliminate any risk here. We're going to eliminate any question marks. But I think if you think a little bit outside the box and look at the value of the versatility that he brings and all the different ways he can impact your team, to me, that's what makes Arvell Reese the number one guy.
All right, talking to Dane Brugler, unselfish question. So the one interesting thing we're hearing from beat writers about the Patriots and what they could do in the draft other than trading down is trading up for a tight end, and that's the kid Sadiq from Oregon. All right, your thoughts on him. Is he worth trading up for? That's a position of need for the Patriots. And how much better is he than the other tight ends in this draft?
Well, I think the one maybe, and I love Sadiq, but I think one of the reasons to maybe not do that is it is a loaded tight end class. And obviously, Sadiq's at the top. He is the best of this class, 6'3", 240 pounds. I think the combine numbers accurately match what he put on film. 4'3" athlete, 43.5-inch vert, just a remarkable athletic specimen. And it shows up on tape with his ability to work the seam, his ability to adjust the throws, bring him in, line up across the formation. He can help you as a blocker. He's somebody that's not he's more of an F, more of that joker tight end, but he's not a nothing. He's not a zero as a blocker. And so you can be creative with how you use him across the formation. And so if they have a chance to go get him within, reasonable striking distance, go get him. But I would say that the one thing that would give me a little pause is how deep this class is. 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round. You're not going to find somebody of Sadiq's caliber, but you're going to find some really quality tight ends in this class. There will be there's more draftable tight ends than teams that will be drafting a tight end. And so all through the end of the draft, there will be good tight end talent that you can find.
And as much as we know Josh McDaniels likes tight ends, you have in your mock, Dane, someone the Patriots taken at 31 who is more of a Mike Vrabel guy. Who is that?
Yeah, my 7th-round mock just came out yesterday on The Athletic, and for the Patriots, I had him going as an offensive tackle and Blake Miller out of Clemson, the right tackle. The way I look at it is, as long as Drake May is your quarterback, you do whatever you need to do to protect him. Whatever that ends up being, get your best 5 on the field and secure that offensive line for not only 2026, but 2027, 2028. And a guy like Blake Miller helps you do that. 4-year starter, and I think you nailed it exactly right in terms of painting him as a Vrabel guy. Blake Miller, he started 54 games over his college career, missed 1 practice in 4 years, just 1, and that's because he broke his wrist. So this is an Iron Man, a guy that, in terms of the physicality, in terms of football makeup, the way just the mindset that he attacks the game with, that's something that speaks directly to coaches, especially a head coach like Vrabel.
Dane, you watch and you look at a lot of mock drafts leading up to this point, and one name seems to keep popping up in connection with the Patriots, and you have him in your 7th-round mock draft. There's a wide receiver named Dejon Stribling, who I've seen anywhere from 2nd to a 4th-round grade. What can you tell us about this one guy?
Yeah, he's going to be a top 75 pick. It's just a matter of kind of where does he come off the board. We're going to see a lot of receivers go in the first, and 5, 6 guys, right? But then in the second round, there's not going to be a huge drop off. We're still going to see plenty of receivers come off the board in the second round. I think Stribling will be one of them. He's someone that turned some heads at the combine. Went at 6'2", 210 pounds, ran a 4.36. And then you kind of, you look at the tape, or you go back to the tape, and you start to, especially what he did in the playoffs. Like the season, what he did was fine, but what he did in the playoffs for Ole Miss, I think, is kind of, got people's attention. And he's in that mix to be one of the top 10 receivers, first 10 receivers off the board, and he's been pretty popular this process in terms of 30 visits. He was in New England this past week. As someone that they brought in for a 30 visit to learn out more about him. His dad was in the military, very much kind of has that or introduced that type of military background to the way he attacks football and his work habits, practice habits. So just physically, the way he's built, the way he runs, the way he plays, and then also his mindset, I think that fits what New England could be looking for.
And that's the beast, baby. You knew about the military background. All right, so if you had to describe the receiver position, which is a position of need for the Patriots, probably every team, you would describe it, I guess, as not elite at the top, but deep. Is that what you're saying?
That's fair. I don't think there's a receiver in this class that I would put above or have a higher grade on than Teteroa McMillan from last year.
Right, and he was, people were worried about him. He ended up being good, but people weren't sure about him going into the draft. Yeah.
Right, and we'll see. So much about this is landing spot, right? Where these guys end up, but you look around the league and you see some of these wide receiver contracts, and it's like, no disrespect to Alec Pierce, but that's, go get that money if you can.
Right.
But the chance to get a rookie receiver on that rookie deal looks awfully appealing to a lot of these teams. And, the wide receiver has become that position that affects the scoreboard more than any other besides quarterback. And so if you have a chance to go get somebody that can come in and make that impact for you on offense, I think a lot of teams are looking or kind of leaning that way. And that's why we're going to see 5, 6 go in the first round, and then not much of a drop off in the second round. Third round, I think I had 17 or 8. I think I had 18 receivers total in my top 100. So, we're going to see a lot of these guys come off the board on the first 2 nights of the draft. And it does, kind of go down, decrease a little bit on day 3. I don't think it's as deep in the later rounds, but in terms of just number of receivers that are available, there's quite a few. So I'm convinced until the day I die, wide receiver is going to be a deep position every single year.
Okay, and we'll just finish with this. If you're watching the draft and you get past the obvious names, a player at any position that you love, in that just when you see this player taken, pay attention. Just one name.
Let's go with Chris Johnson, corner from San Diego State. I think he's someone that's very underrated throughout the entire process. 6 foot, ran the 4.40. The tape's awesome. Ball skills, instincts. This is a corner class where Mansour Delano go high. Jermon McCoy is a little bit of a wild card because of the knee injury. He could go top 15. He could fall out of the first round. I wouldn't be surprised either way, because I know some teams have him off the board. Other teams are a little more forgiving with how they view the knee. But then after those 2 guys, it's kind of up in the air about who that next corner will be between Avion Terrell and Colton Hood. To me, it's Chris Johnson from San Diego State. I think he's an impact player.
All right, we got you out at your heart out. Dane Brugler, we are professionals. Read The Athletic. 7-round mock is up. The Beast is up. It's the most comprehensive coverage of the draft there is. Dane, thank you as always for joining us.
Anytime. Thank you, guys.
All right, there you go. Kaboom.
Well done.
9:15 on the nose. I respect the man, so I got him out. And we got in on time, Adam, except for the 40-second. We would have been in right at time if there wasn't a 40-second promo about the Bruins.
Well, I didn't know they were in the playoffs.
I mean, it sounds good. I'm not saying it's bad production. I'm just saying it's long. And normally I wouldn't care, but when you got to get to something, it's a little annoying. So if you're a Patriots fan, what I've ascertained from my study of this, and John has done this as well, this is not a place for Hardy. He just basically read the description of the player that Dane had put in his mock draft and used that. He did not know that was a Vrabel type player unless Dane had read.
Yeah, because he's the Iron Man type, and you factor in the number of starts, and he's a heady guy with a high motor.
I don't want you to think that Hardy is in any way
interested in the draft.
Yeah,
good. Thank you. I want that on record.
I don't want that out there just because he had that tidbit of information that John and I had in front of us as well. But what I will say is that if you're a Patriot fan, this is good news because it's a good draft. If you're going to have a top pick in a draft, this isn't the draft to have one. And secondly, tight end. He just said is a very deep, and so I believe is offensive line. Now again, not elite offensive linemen, but as you go down, starting caliber offensive linemen will be available.
It doesn't sound like there's a lot of difference between picks 20 and 90 here. It doesn't sound like, trading up, trading down, whatever. You can move anywhere you want.
Which I
You'll
think
get
is
the same caliber of player.
Right, which I think speaks to teams probably drafting, this year more for need, more so than any other, because identifying the best player in that 20 to 90 range might be a fool's errand at this point. It'll become clear years from now, but for right now, just draft for need because there aren't clear-cut head and shoulders above the rest talented guys that you need to pick or you're just missing out.
Well, what you can also do, though, is you can go athlete at that point because if you're getting into the 4th, 5th round and everything's just gobbledygook, it's just all crap, you can just go ahead and take a kid that you think is a great athlete. The thing I find interesting about everyone loving this Caleb Downs out of Ohio State is they're like, he's not super athletic, so he's not Kyle Hamilton. Well, if he's not Kyle Hamilton, if there's a safety in the league that's better than him, why the hell am I taking a safety in the top 10? Like, I get taking a safety in the top 10, but I've heard people go, you take him, he's playing, he'll do it. But then they go, yeah, but he's not Kyle Hamilton. Okay, well, Kyle Hamilton is a super athlete that they can move around. If Caleb Downs is really smart and going to be a really good safety, that's awesome. But I'm not burning a top 10 pick on the kid. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
He just said it. If I can get a receiver that's going to be my number 2 receiver in the top 10, which is hard to get, as you know here, why wouldn't I take a receiver? If I can get a corner that's going to be my first or second corner, even if he's not going to be the best corner in the league, that's far more valuable to me than a safety that there are safeties better than. So the thing with Jeremiah Love is supposed to be like a better Alvin Kamara, okay?
Yep.
That's great. So you go, okay, we're
going to make this work.
Right. Like there's no edge rusher that's blowing me away. There's no receiver that's blowing me away. This kid has a chance to be the best running back in the league. Right?
Specifically, it's Alvin Kamara with breakaway potential. That's the way it's written.
That's the way it's written. And so, if you watch BC, you saw him break a run.
Yes, you did.
And break a run so well that he was looking at the Notre Dame sideline about 30 yards into it, kind of with a nonchalantness that was impressive. He was just like, yeah, we're playing BC. I'm just going to take this. So, like, that makes sense. But you get what I'm saying? Like, unless a guy if he's a non-premium position, like a guard,
I would take the receiver. And there are so few teams I think this applies to where they're just, we got all the receivers we need. There's only so many guys we can throw the ball to. That applies to a couple of teams right now that are like all set at that position. So you get the receiver, even if it is, like you said, like your number 2, fine.
Well, you're never set at receiver, and here's why, Alec Pierce. Is that you got your receivers, but if you got one, even if he's not your number 1 that's up for a contract, someone's going to pay him like a number 1.
Seriously, think about what Hardy just said. Cincinnati is one of those teams, and Dallas is another one, but who else, really?
And look at the situation they put themselves in. Like Cincinnati screwed.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to appease Burrow, they signed 2 receivers. You got to sign Chase. But they gave Higgins that ridiculous contract, and now you got a cheap owner who's paying a quarterback and 2 receivers, and look at the state of that offensive line.
Same thing
the
with
state
Dallas.
of that defense. And Jerry Jones.
Same thing with Dallas. You paid the quarterback, and Lamb's making an obscene amount of money, and they just franchise picking. So that's a big bill.
And then, like
year.
an idiot, you let Parsons go, and then to compensate for it, you give up a first and a second for a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
The interior lineman.
Keep drafting receivers. Just like if you don't have a quarterback, you keep drafting quarterbacks
the Patriots,
until you hit one.
The Patriots should draft a quarterback. If they like one, they should draft.
Yeah.
Not in the first 2 rounds.
No, but that's the thing. I looked at Dane's mock draft. He doesn't have the Patriots taking a quarterback in his 7th-round mock. One of the few mistakes he would have made here.
Well,
they absolutely have to take one.
But John's right. The idea is, you take one if you like one.
Regardless of what the situation is. I mean, I've seen that Georgia Tech kid, Hayes King. Is it Hayes King?
Oh, that kid's a monster. He's tough as hell.
But apparently,
that kid plays with concussions and broken legs.
I've seen him in some mock drafts going to the Patriots in round 5, 6, or 7. That makes sense. But you have to take a guy. That's all I'm saying.
But the thing is that you do need a backup quarterback. I mean, you do. Oh yeah, no kidding. Well, yeah, but you need a good backup quarterback. And I will give you the example of Chase Daniel. Go Google what Chase Daniel made in his career. Guy probably started at most 10 games in his entire career. Probably played 11 years. That guy's made tens of millions of dollars. Why? Because if you're a good team, Colts, and your quarterback gets hurt and you don't have a quality backup, your season's over. 5 starts for Chase Daniel in his career.
I just held up my hand to Fred.
5 starts in Chase Daniel's career. Yeah.
You want to see Zoe's head explode? Just drop little stats like that every once in a while on backup QBs. How many games they started and how much money they made.
He was a star. He was a star at Missouri, but he didn't have the athletic traits to be like a starting quarterback on a great team. And people kept him around because if you lost your quarterback for 6 games, you're not out of the playoff picture. You play Chase Daniel and you put him in, he can serve. He can tread water for 5 weeks, which you need. Drake May's never going to get hurt. He was hurt in the playoffs. So that's the idea.
But the overriding thing about the draft, and Dane just pointed it out, Patriots going to get someone that could play for them at the end of the 1st round, or even if they trade back at the top of the 2nd round. That's what this draft is. If you're a Patriots fan and you're really into this, whomever they wind up taking, whether it be at 31 or 26 if they move up, or 34 if they move down, that guy has the ability to start for you come the summer.
And if they take a tackle, it just might get interesting. Because if they get a 1st-round tackle in the building, I don't care if he's a right tackle, I don't care what they say. Morgan Moses is coming back, he said. So Morgan Moses, you got him. He pencils in your starting right tackle. And I understand you're drafting a right tackle to eventually, most likely at some point this season, take over for Moses. But what's interesting is you got a left tackle that was historically bad in the playoffs. You get a kid in the building. Now, if he performs and he shows and he's better than Will Campbell, do you not play him because of where you took Will Campbell? And that is a great story to keep an eye on through the preseason.
And it could very well happen, as I pointed out to Dane. This Blake Miller guy, he's more of a Vrabel guy, and Dane agreed with me.
Yeah. I hated that you did that because it made you sound smart, but you read it off the page.
And he loved it. He lapped it.
For those people who weren't watching on YouTube, Fred was, for the second
I know he
did
liked
that.
it, and it was so not deserved. It drove me nuts. Zolak is on the phone. Hi, Scott.
Boy.
Yeah, trigger name right there, Chase Daniel. One of the teams misspelled his name. Called him Chase Daniels, like Josh McDaniels. Look at his picture, Fred. He's short and fat.
I saw him play at Missouri.
He's fatter than Alex Van Pelt. I saw him play in Missouri.
No, I'm aware of him, yeah.
He made $21 million from the Redskins. I don't think he ever saw the film.
Yeah.
One of the most overrated backups I've ever seen.
He was 2-3. He has, made it into 76 games. He was a good player.
But Scott, do you
was he ever NFC Offensive Player of the Week?
No.
Like twice?
No, you were better than Chase Daniel. You're a better quarterback than Chase Daniel.
He looks like Jim Louth.
I didn't go there. Come on.
Now you ruined my morning.
All right, thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. All right.
Nice
Very
job.
good. Boy, Hardy knows how to get to him.
Wow, that was impressive. That was like 5 minutes.
Him and Bertrand make quite a sport of getting at him. All right.
It was my daily hobby for years.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment with the award-winning email segment.
More.
obviously YD. Okay?
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
All right. We are Toucher and Hardy. Our email segment is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email, you dunce. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. Our emails are available for all to look at. And, yeah, you know, and it's just basically our names at 985thesportshub.com. Hardy, you're good at, filtering out Blind Scott's ones. And
Sure. I got one for you.
Go ahead.
Hey, guys. I was listening to Felger and Maz on my commute home yesterday, and at one point, Felger was referencing Pieces in the Beast and said, I think this might be Fred's. So while he did not heed your warning, which was probably more so about throwing markers at it, this could be doubly offensive since he's actively showing that he doesn't listen to your program. You wanted to be the Jack A of the Sports Hub, Fred, but badass Felger is more of the scrawny Jack A or scrawny Jack A. Your move.
Oh, I'm quite confident Felger doesn't listen to this show. I think that what Felger consumes is like full-on sports debate. And I mean, because they use it. Why the hell would he listen to this show? He uses clips from like debate shows. That's what they play going into breaks. Maz listens. Jay Stu listens. Jim probably listens if he's up. I doubt he's up. But he lives a lifestyle that I don't think he's up. Or maybe about now he's up. But I've done like a speaking thing in New York with Felger where the two of us were like interviewed by someone on a stage for like industry people, like a real bunch of heroes out in that crowd. And the way Felger and I described it in the way our relationship is, and it's easy to understand. I know I can't do what Felger does. This is what we said on stage. I know I can't do what Felger does. He does like a fast-ass moving call show with like he's the opinion, and it's awesome and it moves fast and it's great. But he knows he can't do what I do, which is a show that's like more laid back and trying to be funny and, you know, more segmented in that if you listen to this show, every time we come back from a commercial, it's something new. Like it's not the same thing. Like we can't do it. We don't do hour-long topics. Those are hard to do too. But it's just not what I want to do. And it's also not good for the morning. Now, you put us on in the afternoon, people want that hard driving thing. They're coming home. They're more awake. They're calling in. People in the morning, just as you know, Hardy, and Adam knows, John doesn't know anything, it's more of a passive thing where you want to be entertained, right? Yeah. You don't want to like pick up the phone and have to work. You want to be entertained going into work. So Felger and I do have a lot of respect for one another. But I think Felger thinks we're good, but it was specifically about me, thinks I'm good on the radio, but I have every confidence that he never listens to this show, and I don't take any offense to it.
Right. Now, John in New Hampshire does not have respect for Felger. He said, morning, Hardy. It keeps crossing the airwaves and bugging me, but it really got to me yesterday when Felger was reading copy for his sponsorship for Brunt Workwear. He got to the point where it referred to this specific boot as being the 6-inch model, which he then asked out loud something to the effect of, I'm assuming that means the height of the boot. I mean, I have small feet, but 6 inches. How the hell is he the one with that sponsorship?
Can I break into this? I have thought this a million times. Now, I don't want to take money out of anyone's pocket, but I have thought every time I listen to Felger and Maz, every time Felger does this read, I go, why is this not Hardy's read? Like, why is this, of all the people, it shouldn't be mine either, but of all the people, Felger is by what? 1,000,000,000% the less likely to work.
Well, as John describes him, Felger skipping off to Nantucket, crashing his stupid bicycle. What are they thinking? But he does, probably make a case for people, and I'm not saying I'm among them, people who like to, wear the clothes of a working man, even if they are not, in fact, one of them.
Well, you like to cosplay.
Yeah.
But that's out of respect for the profession.
I tell you who's like taking it to a new level, Gemelli. Gemelli comes in here some days with double Carhartt on. He's wearing, he's wearing a Carhartt hoodie today. Are you wearing Carhartt pants also today?
What do you want him to do? What do you want that kid to wear? He's got 2 kids. He's doing this job. That can't be easy.
A newborn at home.
And not because of
the clothes on.
I mean, he's got a piece, just things to cover his body so he doesn't get in trouble.
Great.
Arrested for indecent exposure.
I mean, we got Adam looks like Rockefeller compared to Nick.
Nick came in here wearing a barrel with suspenders over the shoulders. We'd understand.
Listen, if Nick ever got a divorce, when it came down to the finances, the judge would just go, "Okay, you figure it out. Whatever you can do to put it all together, that's fine with me." I take it Nick's wife makes a lot of money.
Punkatong.
He's putting his thumb up. I think that's part of the reason Nick took all the time off, correct? Is that his wife is very hardworking.
He can't answer. He's answering the phone.
Well, good. But she's mothering and hardworking. I think, and this is a trope, but I don't mean it in a sitcom way. I do think his wife is very much responsible for the success of this family. Economically, home life.
I mean, sustainability, and not just in the financial sense, but just, keeping those 4 things alive.
Oh, my God. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
I think Nick's capable of keeping a baby alive, but maybe not getting it speaking and crawling.
So here's the touche email after the Felger work boot one. Andrew says, Hardy should be the last person doing ads for sex pills. He doesn't care about sex at all.
Oh, and that's not true.
Untrue. I love sex.
You have kids.
How you do it and stuff? Yeah.
Well, anytime I make
love it.
Oh, good.
Anytime I make a comment about the monotony of having sex with a long-term wife, Hardy will push back, which means that he is still attracted to his wife and still sexually active with her.
Whoa, Dad.
Because he what? Yes.
Yeah.
You should
what
hear
you're
him.
Supposed to do.
You should hear him in meetings. Oh, the way he talks about women, it's disgusting. The things he wants to do. He's on the dark web, for Christ's sakes.
8chan.
Gabe wants to pile on Felger because I was nice to him. So
hey, guys, that was my email.
Hey, Gabe, what's up?
Hardy.
Thank you.
Real quick, I just think it's funny. I don't know how the sponsorships work, but like Hardy doing one for sex pill, and then you were doing one for some, like, not construction, but some type of thing Hardy likes, and it's like, wait, it should be reversed. Like, you're a single guy looking for a woman, Fred, like you could need something, whereas Hardy, wants a woman in baggy pants to sit next to watch a Netflix documentary. Like, he doesn't want sex, please. Come on. We all know it. He doesn't care.
It sounds worse coming from that voice.
Thank you, Gabe.
Gabe, your voice was particularly cutting. I don't know why. It sounded very academic.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he was doing an academic profile of how he feels that your life is going.
Oh, my God. We've been watching The Pit and seeing those nurses walking around in their scrubs and their, baggy, unrevealing clothes. That gets me going.
Well, I've heard The Pit is a favorite of the medical community because of its accuracy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so people are very impressed with it. It's like F1. Like, if you know F1, they were all pissed off F1 that it wasn't accurate. I guess The Pit is the accurate one.
I know that Days of Thunder was looked down upon to a great extent.
Wait, that wasn't realistic?
The NASCAR,
no relatives had sex.
NASCAR guys, you know what they love? Talladega
Incest.
Nights.
Really?
They think Talladega. Now, I don't know if they care about its accuracy, but they find that a much superior film to Days of Thunder.
Yeah, the pit crew boss doesn't talk to the car before every outing? Come on.
All right.
Robert Duvall stuck the landing
Speaking of that, I will. You mentioned the show. I will read this one, and then we will be done with things for the day. You can always email us, and we'll read them tomorrow. Aaron says, "I just watched DTF St. Louis, and what in God's name did I just watch? This went from like John's dream,
right?
Okay.
Episode 2, right?
To like guys dancing with each other, and just what the hell? I'm starting to doubt your hetero street credentials, LMAO." Oh, Aaron, I didn't make it. I read it was good, and then once you start watching it, you might as well finish it. I don't recommend it.
How many episodes total?
7?
Okay.
6, usually 6, 7.
Yay.
My daughter, dude.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah, you know why? Because it bugs me.
You.
Yeah. So, no, I wouldn't suggest watching it. I don't relate to the characters. It's a study in loneliness, and I don't quite understand why they're so lonely. They seem to have things that they shouldn't be lonely about, but it's I didn't relate to it. I'm sorry.
I haven't started it. I see it on all the time. It's everywhere. I think it's on multiple platforms, and
I'm not a huge Jason Bateman fan, and part of the reason is he made so much money doing something so terrible with that podcast.
Black Rabbit. You should watch Black Rabbit.
Okay.
It's a good Jason Bateman vehicle.
Is it like an animated Dolomite?
Yeah, it is.
It's a good pull.
Thank you. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. We'll finish things up here with the headlines.
Sports Hub Headlines, presented by Celsius.
right. We are Toucher and Hardy. A big show today. A good show today. Al Cole, though, has to move on to different kinds of music. If he continues with his electronic music, I cannot abide by that no more. Again, it sounds like Prince was in a bad accident.
I'm a robot.
Too much stack to get to today. There's so much good stuff. We're going to start with the Kid Rock Country Festival. Tickets are now 50% off.
Oh.
You say that's good news, right? Not if you already bought tickets for the full price. So they're saying that gas prices and other things have...
but aren't they...
Fuel costs are up, and we want help. In response to rising transportation costs, you can enjoy up to 50% off general admission passes to any of the 7 small-town stops for a limited time only. Use code FUEL for $59 single day and $99 weekend general admission tickets at rockthecountry.com while supplies last.
So they're going to get on stage and go on and on about how great America is, but they're giving half-off tickets because gas prices are so high?
Supporting the president's initiative. You know, that there's a reason gas prices are high. We all have to sacrifice.
Well, no, but whether you agree with the war in Iran or not, the reason gas prices are high is specifically entirely related to the war in Iran.
But this, look, Fred, it's all about the narrative, and this has nothing to do with ticket sales being slow. They want to help people out because fuel costs are up. Let's not mention why the fuel costs are up.
So Trump went to like this UFC thing. Obviously, he's super into the UFC. And they played like American Badass while he walked in. Like, so Kid Rock is just like the guy. He's like the guy.
Yeah.
And Kid Rock in 1999 arguably had the best set of the entire Woodstock.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's like a hype man for the president, which regardless of who the president is lame.
Well,
Rock is supposed to be, the president's supposed to hate music, not like you.
Media and social media tries to amplify it.
The Country Fest, Rock the Country Fest, canceled its 2-day stop in South Carolina after Shinedown Ludacris, who I'm sure would have gone over great, and others dropped out over the festival's
He's one of the good ones.
Political leanings. So they just canceled that stop altogether. Also, Kid Rock has blamed the fake liberal media for reporting on the ticket prices, of course. Which you can.
The left is trying to throw me under the bus again.
Wait, so are the ticket prices in half or not?
Yes, they are.
So then what is the liberal media saying? Are they in half? I don't understand. We're popular.
He says they know damn well that's not the full story. These are extremely limited first-class seats, like I explained. 4 tickets per row, first 5 rows, $5,000 per seat, row 1, $4,000 for row 2. Again, only 4 seats in rows 1 through 50.
You want to hear something I'm pretty consistent on? I'm pretty consistent on. Stop blaming everyone for your problems. How about that?
He also said I will.
And how about that for playing both sides of the fence? Stop blaming it. I thought your whole thing was not blaming people for everything, the government for everything. Stop it.
He said he's going to pray for the people reporting these factual errors, which are not errors. He said, I will pray for them, but I know that sooner or later God will cut them down.
So he's super religious now?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. Does he still play his songs?
Look,
what's going on?
More importantly,
what's going on with him?
More importantly, Shannon Elizabeth is joining OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
To show off a more sexy side. She said, this is the future. I'm choosing OnlyFans because it allows me to connect directly with my audience, create on my own terms, and just be free.
Do you know that I have never gone to OnlyFans ever in my life?
Well, you don't have to. If you want to see someone on OnlyFans, someone's probably snapped a photo and posted it elsewhere.
Well, I told you the time that I was watching an ASMR video, as I tend to do before I go to bed. Johnny knows what I'm talking about. He does the same thing. And there was this lady that was super hot, and I clicked. This is a few months ago, and I clicked on the thing, and it said she had like an OnlyFans, and I said, oh, so she must be naked. And so I Googled her name, and whoopsie doopsie, here are a bunch of nude photos of her. But I have no idea. I don't want to talk to her. No need to talk to her in email with her or have any kind of communique. I would rather talk to a woman that exists in my life.
Well,
I can watch porn, which
she would exist in your life just on an internet connection.
My thing is this: is that we all watch porn and we all have to satisfy ourselves at least occasionally. And I have nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just don't understand why you have to talk to the porn star. That's all, unless they're, of course, Saugus's own Tyler Fay.
Well, if you want to interact with Shannon Elizabeth, you can do so starting today. You can start subscribing to her page as of right now.
I knew a guy that was married to her, and while they were married, the press was saying that she was dating a celebrity. And that was the work of the PR people for both Shannon Elizabeth and this certain celebrity. And she, at the time, was married to a guy that lived in Atlanta.
Who is the celebrity?
It is not my business to tell the audience.
Oh, you tease.
Was it reported?
No.
Interesting.
Oh, the relationship with the celebrity was reported, but it was a beard situation.
Oh.
So I choose not Adam. I choose not to reveal the name.
And you made the right choice, Fred.
Thank you, Adam. The conscious of us all.